Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. We're going to do it like we normally do it. The weekend shows are generally free for alls where we do take complaints, comments, suggestions, and we'll take a compliment or two. But I do got a host of topics I want to run by you. Nevertheless, you certainly on the weekend shows can present your own politically oriented topic, and we'll tackle those as well. We'll tackle those as well in the comments, and certainly for the callers that come in, and anyone with a, you know the super chats on YouTube turn the screen color. So if you're on YouTube sending a super chat, we're going to see that immediately, as in Blue One Banks. Appreciate the galaxy to start the program off right. Not to sound like Tony the Tiger, but that is great. So we're going to talk about a host of topics, so many so that I had to bring notes just to even cover all this stuff. Fact is, we're obviously still at war with Iran. I think everybody knows that. And this is after 13 continuous days of bombing them. We bombed Iran for 13 straight days and just stopped. They didn't come. We didn't come to any ceasefire. They didn't come to any agreement or anything. We bombed them for 13 straight days. You heard Trump, Hegseth bragging about what we were doing. We just literally stopped. See, Osby, appreciate the hat mustache. Why would we bomb them for 13 days and stop without accomplishing anything? I do want to talk to you folks about that. I'm going to give you my honest speculation on it. One or two reasons. One being we're getting low on firepower. We're getting listen, this is a rumor that's been floating around by many retired brass doing what do they call it? If you're a contributor of CNN or Fox News or MS Now, you're a political contributor. So they have generals and admirals they can call to get, strategic advice and stuff from them. We're out in the field, served in combat tours, we're our war hardened veterans. And the rumors are floating around that we're running out of weapons, folks. We're running out of weapons. That is the rumor floating around. I'm not one to speak on it, so I don't know if it's true or not, but that is the rumors that we're getting short on weapons. C. Osby, already at Advent Comics, and C. Osby, thank you very much. So that's the rumor number one, is that we're running out of ammunition. And keep in mind, we're firing at Iranian drones that cost them pennies, and we're firing. When I say pennies, I mean $10,000 to $50,000 per drone they're sending up. We're firing deterrents, or what do you want to call it, Patriot batteries, or interceptors is the word I'm looking for. We're firing interceptors at these things that cost multiples. So we may fire an interceptor at an Iranian drone, and the interceptor may cost 10 times as much as the drone we're firing to take down. That's mathematics that America cannot continue to endure. And we talked about this when it was going on. When Iran was actually attacking Israel, we talked about the notion that America spent more money using weapons to intercept ballistic missiles coming from Iran towards Israel. We spent more money defending Israel than Israel spent defending Israel. So that's in addition to first Israel and all of it. Now it's just us spending money attacking Iran as well. So this has been a very, very costly endeavor. But two reasons. One being we're running out of ammunition. Second reason may be more awful in terms of expenses for you and I. And that is Iran would, the fact that they are now striking multiple oil producing nations that are nearby, and with the Houthis operating on their behalf, shutting down a second strait, we've come to the conclusion that if you keep bombing them, they're just going to keep expanding the war, and ultimately that's going to hurt us. They've now hit some pretty big refineries in Saudi Arabia and other places like that. I'm going to produce it from this angle. Whereas you got to get your news, and I can only plead this with you. I can only plead for you to do this. You got to get your news beyond America. I'm just going to tell you that. You can call it Trump derangement syndrome or hatred of Trump, whatever you want to call it. You don't like the administration, you're a tree hugging liberal, whatever. But the fact is, they're not telling you everything that's going on. That's the point I'm making. You got to get your news from additional sources outside of this country. Our country is giving you optimistic viewpoints of the war. Remember, Trump has been saying they're begging for a ceasefire from day one. Do you see anything at all to indicate Iran is begging for a ceasefire? He just said that again during the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that they really want a ceasefire. How much clearer can it be that these folks are intending to prolong the war, not end it? They're not seeking a ceasefire, they're seeking to prolong the war. So Trump continuing to suggest they're begging for a ceasefire should make it clear to you that all the information being presented by Trump is not accurate. So I do want to suggest that. So those are the two reasons I believe. One being we're getting low on munitions. Two being the Iranian retaliation methods are having an effect. Not to mention, I played a clip for you folks on our last live. I don't know if I still have it queued up, but I think it's worthy of playing again. I don't know. I don't believe I have it queued up, but fact is we're running low in terms of our own strategic oil reserves. Once that gets at a critical point, the only reason we're tapping into our strategic oil reserves is to keep the price of fuel in this country artificially low. That's why you hear President Trump say, well, we don't really need the oil coming through the Strait of Hormuz. Because we're tapping into our own shit, which is something we weren't normally doing. Once that gets strategically low, there's going to be a problem where you may see a significant increase in the price of fuel, like overnight. So, like I said, you got to get your news from additional sources. They're saying that our strategic oil reserves are at a 40-year low. They're going all the way back to, say, like the Carter, Reagan era when you had the fuel shortage. They're talking about it's getting close to that. It's getting close to that. So we're looking at, well, we're only paying 30, 40 cents or $1 more per gallon to stop them from getting a nuclear bomb. Hey, short-term pain for long-term gain. No, it could be some significant pain on the horizon. The amount of pain we're experiencing right now would be akin to breaking your leg and getting a shot of morphine. You're not actually feeling what this actually feels like yet. So I do want you to take that in consideration. But in addition to that, we're going to go through several topics here. And I guess I would ask you folks, do you think we can bomb or threaten our way to success with Iran? Some of you folks do. Some of you folks want us to go in, guns a-blazing, boots on the ground, or even some folks are saying turn them into a sheet of glass. So you're going to stop Iran from getting a nuclear bomb by dropping one of our own. Also, why do you think this is taking so much longer than Trump predicted? Trump started out by saying 2 to 4 weeks this would be over with. And obviously 2 to 4 months has not even met the claim. So what Trump started out by saying 2 to 4 weeks. Also, I want you to hear this because this is what Trump has been saying the whole time is that we're in control and the Strait of Hormuz is open. That's what you heard Trump say.
Let's bring you some breaking news now. Iranian media is reporting that a tanker has hit a naval mine and exploded in the Strait of Hormuz. It is reporting that this ship deviated from the designated route. Well, let's get the very latest. Rasul Sada is joining us live from Tehran. Rasul, what exactly do we know about this tanker and this explosion that's being reported?
Well, now, the Iranian media, both Mehr News Agency and also Tasnim News Agency, they are both the state news agencies here, saying that, an informed source have told them that an hour ago, a violating tanker in the Strait of Hormuz that had deviated from the road specified by the Iranian armed forces exploded after hitting the sea mines, the naval.
So they got mines in the Strait of Hormuz, and the Iranians want to control the strait. So they're only letting through who they want to let through after they pay a toll, or only letting through friendly vessels. And this particular cargo ship, oil tanker, by the way, it's an oil tanker. An oil tanker went through and it did not follow the instructions of the Iranians. So you got to follow it. So in other words, they're absolutely controlling the strait. This is what I'm saying about watching media outside of our own, because Trump is saying the strait is completely open. Here they're reporting that an oil tanker has exploded. Now, that's going to cause pain here at home, because this is going to make everybody hesitant to go through the strait. Now, they've proven that it's mined. There's no longer a question of whether mines are in there or not. They just proved it now with one of them blowing up. And they've proved that they are willing to do that if you don't listen to their instructions. So that's going to increase the cost of insurance of tankers that want to take this perilous route. And it's going to cause others to say, fuck it, I'm not going through there regardless. So, and not to mention, I don't know what this particular tanker exploding, losing its cargo is going to do to the oil market as well. So there's a whole lot of variables in there, but none of them will be good for anybody that purchases fuel. None of those things will be good. So I want to go into that. Also, we talk about Sharia law. Appreciate the hat and a mustache. Gangsta grandma. Thank you very much. Real quick, Sharia law. Very unpopular in the United States. Sharia law. I want to ask this. How is it that we can hold countries like Iran accountable for the perils or the things in the human rights violations, the things like that we disagree with when it comes to Sharia law? How can we hold them accountable for all this and view them as an enemy while continuing to make friends with the Saudis that practice the same thing? Sharia law is also practiced in Saudi Arabia. So I do want to hear from you folks. How does that make any sense at all? I don't understand that. But I want to give you another one here. A couple more topics, and we'll start taking calls. Tap the screen, get the lights on up to 10,000. You know how we do. We take the first caller at 10,000. This one here, I don't know if I can find it or not. Did any of you see the White House Correspondents' Dinner? I want you, if not, I think most of you guys have at least seen some of the excerpts.
From his wife. And she said, when you get home, I'm going
to rewind this from the beginning for you folks who haven't heard this yet. This is Trump telling a joke.
The other day, a senator.
This is President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Dinner telling a joke. And I want to make sure you hear all of this, because this reminds me of something that happened in the past. And I'm going to play you his joke, then I'm going to play you what happened in the past.
The other day, a senator I knew got a text, a great guy, from his wife. And she said, when you get home, I want to have you immediately come up the stairs and make love to me. And he said, I can't do both. You know what? In other words, can't go up the stairs and make love. Does anybody get that? Well, I thought that was actually pretty good. That was actually the only thing I thought was good in this whole freaking stupid speech that they wrote. That was the only good one, and that went down with not exactly great laughter. I think, in other words, you can't go up the stairs and make love, too, So we're looking for term limits. Does anybody understand this stuff?
I mean, he's bombing bad. Okay, you told a joke that is not funny, apparently. And I thought it was a little bit more funnier than they really gave him no love at all. If he had been in a MAGA rally, I think people would have been laughing out of the seats. And I think that's the problem, is that Trump has not really spoken a lot in environments that were willing to judge him fairly. I mean, most of the environments he speaks in he's in control of them. Like, at MAGA rallies or at press conferences where he can cuss out the reporters and things like that. He hasn't really had to speak at an event like this where people actually have the option to praise or speak against you. So, this didn't go over well. And then, of course, you're doing bad when you explain a joke. But I think many of you have seen this. He bombed really bad there. But I want to give you something, a blast from the past, that this really reminds me of. And you may remember this. This is going back about 10 years. This is something that President Trump and MAGA made a lot of fun of when it happened at the time.
It's creating a more dangerous world. So here's my pledge to you. I will be a commander-in-chief that will have the back of the military. I won't trash talk. I won't be a divider-in-chief or an agitator-in-chief. I won't be out there blowharding, talking a big game without backing it up. I think the next president needs to be a lot quieter, but send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
Okay, I don't know if you heard that. That's Jeb Bush. That's Jeb Bush running for president in 2016. And you hear him state what he's going to do if he wins and becomes president. And after he's done, the audience does not applaud at all. And he quietly says, please clap. They were not going to show him any applause. I'll play a couple seconds of it again. You'll hear him quietly say, at the notice, there ain't nobody applauding for this shit. Please clap. And then this kind of reminds me of what President Trump just did.
In the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
MAGA had a field day with that. For some of you folks who may remember back then when Jeb Bush was supposedly the next Republican nominee for the president, MAGA had a field day with how pitiful Jeb Bush looked on this. Well, I'm going to tell you, Trump and the correspondents did a mirror of this as well. But I just want to give you a blast from the past, because when I seen Trump up there failing miserably like that, this clip, I'm like, let me go find that please clap clip, because this looks just like that. And I wouldn't have found it. Unfortunately, it was on the internet to find. Last but not least, this may piss off some of my beloved MAGA, but I do have to ask this because it's been floating all over social media. Barack Obama is back in the news.
Oh, hey, Kate, how are you? Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic. Don't let all this nonsense get you down. You know, I always say.
Now, real quick, you can't see her, but he's talking. These are WNBA players, and he's actually giving advice to Caitlin Clark. You can't really see her through the crowd, so the cameraman does not have a straight angle, but you can clearly hear Obama talking to her, and you can hear Caitlin Clark as well.
Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic. Don't let all this nonsense get you down. You know, I always say one of the things that was luckiest for me was I didn't get famous till I was like 45. So I was an old ass man. I mean, you're my daughter's age. They're not to have that much, burden and nonsense. So don't lose that joy. The game's like the game. And you're a hooper. And you
I try sometimes.
No, you always hoop. And you're on a nice little run right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You mind if I get a picture?
Yeah, come on.
Ready?
Come on.
So cute. Wait, guys, get in with me too.
Come on.
And then she says, can I get a picture? She takes a picture with him. Now, I will say, I want to give a shout out to Caitlin Clark, because once she got permission from Obama to take a picture, she told her players, get in on this also. So it doesn't look like they're only giving her, she's the only one getting love. I mean, Obama should have asked all of them to come in there, but I like that Caitlin Clark did that as opposed to still in the spotlight. But what I want to ask you folks is this. Why does it appear, and if I'm wrong, I want my beloved MAGA to tell me that, but Trump has been at a hell of a lot of public events recently. We can talk about FIFA, the World Cup. We can talk about the Knicks game, game 5, I think it was the only game that the Knicks lost. Why does it appear that when Trump is in public versus former President Obama, Obama does not get booed? Trump gets booed and supported everywhere he goes. Obama, they just seem to show him love. Why does it appear, and let me know if I'm wrong, but why does it appear as if Obama's a more popular president than Trump is? What is it about these two men that are making them be viewed differently? I want to hear from you folks. And last but not least, this real quick, and I'll go to the comments now. This is a dark one. I just wanted to come talk about it because I saw it posted online from one of my MAGA viewers. It's going to be reversed for some of you, so I'll read what's on screen. But this came from one of my MAGA friends on his social media account. It says, "Dear Black people, no matter what you've heard from brainwashed people, MAGA doesn't hate Black people. We embrace all, even those that hate us for no reason at all." So I am going to be asking callers, why is it that this type of stigmatism is orbiting around MAGA? So much so that I've had a Trump supporter have to post this. Why do you believe that there are folks who are referring to MAGA as intolerant, bigoted, racist, whatever? I'll talk to you folks. I want to hear from you folks. So you guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Our program is always open to all. You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. We are always MAGA friendly, always have been MAGA friendly, always will remain MAGA friendly. But liberals are welcome on the program as well. Our comments go left to Mom Donnie till I'm having dinner with Q. So looking in the comments right off the bat, and tap the screen, help your boy out. Just the thought got these mouth breakers upset. They know Dementia Don couldn't win an election against Obama, wouldn't even be close. Says Lennon, I think Enigma, or Lynn Enigma. Okay, you said wouldn't be closer. I've been really enjoying seeing all the Europeans over here doing the World Cup, having a great time, talking about people being nice, and all around a great time having. That sounds like a good time indeed. No, he does not. You have social media morons creating fake clips of him getting booed. That's what you don't believe Trump get booed at all, huh? Ryan retired. Trump doesn't get booed at all when he goes out in public. You're saying that it is actually social media morons creating fake clips of him getting booed. Really? Okay. All right, it's all fake then. That's the first I've heard that. Anyway, let me go back to so what is it really fake clips, folks? Let me go straight to the box. I'll start it out with Lewis. Tap the screen, get your boy up, get the likes on up to 20,000 if you will. Good afternoon, Lewis. Welcome to the show. Okay, I'm doing good. Good to have you on. So now I asked the question, why does it appear that Trump gets booed and everybody seems to cheer or applaud Obama? Now, one of my viewers said Trump is not getting booed. It's morons on the social media that's making it that way. Does it appear to you like that's what I'm seeing? It seems like Obama's a more favorite politician. Am I getting that wrong? What say you?
Every politician in the past that came before Trump gets more accolades than Trump does. I mean, Trump has always got that opposition because he builds opposition. I mean, he brings it on that way. He is more of a divider than anything. So he likes it that way.
Well, but some would say maybe, listen, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make America great. Is that just what comes with the job? If he's trying to make this country great, you're going to have detractors. You're going to have liberals that don't like him. You're going to have liberal media that's after him. Is he just doing his job so well that it's creating enemies?
Want to know or you want another one? Tim.
Yes.
See, this is why you get called a bluffer.
I got to ask the question. I have to ask the damn questions. Talk to me.
You can't fart and then say it don't stink.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Trump is not interested in making America great. Trump is interested in making himself appear great. That's really a big difference. That's what most people don't understand. I mean, you're right, and he has done that because Trump has gotten. The only person who seems to have benefited is Trump and his cronies that we'll never know about. American people, there's no regular, ordinary, especially middle-class people can say their lives are better now than it was before he got there. There's no one can say that. Now, Tim,
that's not true.
I'm middle class, and I do better. I'm doing okay in life, but it's not because of anything Trump's done. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing okay, but it has nothing to do with what he's done. What
Well,
he's done nothing to make
Well,
my
well,
life
well
better.
let me allow me to interject. There are some who suggest that thanks to Trump, particularly folks in Washington D.C., their town is safer. As Trump says, you can now walk to have dinner and not worry about crime. Some folks feel safer that illegal immigrants are not all over the place. Some women feel more comfortable that they won't have to play against biological males in sports or have a man walk in on them in the bathroom. There are folks who feel their lives have improved.
Are you serious?
I'm giving you things I hear every day.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Have you ever had a problem with trans women walking in the bathroom where you at?
No, never.
So, and I'll tell you something. And I bet you less than 1% of all Americans have had that would answer that the same way. Because I have never been in the bathroom and not even noticed that whether or not it was a man or a woman standing next to me. In fact, Tim, if I'm standing in the bathroom with you and you look over at me, if you make eye contact, we got a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So, if a transgender man goes into a female restroom and uses that restroom, he's 99%. I'm 99% sure that he's going to go into a stall, or she's going to go into a stall. Because I'm going to call him a she, because that's what they want me to call him. I don't have a problem with it. But my thing is that if she goes in, if she goes into a female restroom, she's going to go into a stall. What America can do, America can start having single bathrooms that are just for. Tim, I'm getting a phone call.
Okay, I'll drop you. All right, I'll drop you. All right, look it in the comments. I wanted to Lewis will have that conversation in the future. Evil B Babu says, we support the greatest man on YouTube. He's cheerful. He's charismatic. Guy, the best man for anything. He's a real hoot. Who is the ladies and guys? I give you God's gift, Tim Liberal. I like the opening, Evil. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your support. Certainly a great way to start the program off. Thank you. In the comments, Justin says Biden and Harris said border control. Biden and Harris said border could not be closed without help from Congress in 4 years, and Trump single-handedly closed it in 2 weeks. True. No, I won't say in 2 weeks, but Trump absolutely has done a lot better with the border. But I will push back from this standpoint. This is responding to Justin in the comments, who says that Trump proved that you didn't need Congress to shut down the border like Biden and Kamala Harris were alleging. Well, the fact is, Trump has not followed the rules in doing what he's been doing. So you may favor what he's doing. I get it. You may favor our invasion in Iran. That's something you may favor. But the rules require you get Congress to approve a war. So yeah, Trump, if Kamala Harris and Biden are saying you need Congress to do this or do that, they're actually going by the rules. Trump is not going by the rules. Trump is doing whatever the hell he wants to do. So yeah, Trump is going to get more done than any president, because he's breaking laws and rules and not being held accountable for it. So, I mean, he may be breaking laws and rules that you like, I get it, but Trump is not doing things the traditional way you're supposed to do them. So, go figure. But yeah, I mean, Congress hasn't gotten away with Trump doing anything. Even when they told him to do stuff, like he was supposed to release the Epstein files by the end of December. He just said, I'm not going to do it. He was supposed to get rid of TikTok by a certain period of time. He just said, we're not going to do it. We're going to work out a deal with the Chinese, and we'll do it when we're done with the deal. So he's not following Congress. Biden and Kamala Harris are trying to do what Congress was suggesting. So there you go. Tap the screen, get us on up to 20,000. Let me go back to the next caller. We'll go to Mike, the boss. Congress allows him to do whatever, but wouldn't do that for, they wouldn't do that for Bush either. Trump is just doing whatever he wants to do. So, yeah, he's going to have more successes implementing his agenda and his legislation than anybody else. Tried to bring up Mike the boss. Don't know what happened there. We'll go on to the next caller. In the comments, the dumpster doesn't follow the law. He's above it. Damn. We're talking about the border, not Epstein. We're talking about Congress. That's what we're talking about, HL. We're talking about Congress. We're not even just talking about the border. We're talking about Congress. because Trump has done a lot of things. Look, everybody suggests that every president before Trump was saying Iran needed to be dealt with. Here comes Trump. Finally, we got a guy that dealt with it. Yeah, because once again, he didn't go to Congress. He just did his own thing. It's going to be a lot easier to do whatever the hell you want if you just can do it without a check or a balance. Hopefully this stuff works out in our benefit, though. That's the problem. Let me go back to the box. We'll go to Twisted. Good evening, Twisted. Welcome to the program. I wonder why Congress allows Trump to do whatever he wants with no pushback. Fear, Bama Landscaper. Fear. They've seen every person that has pushed back against President Trump that's on the right side of the aisle either no longer has a job or they're on their way out. So fear is why they're letting him do it. He's showing that if you push back against me, I'll have you decapitated. Twisted, good evening.
Well, it is good afternoon, not good evening.
My fault. My apologies.
Right.
I'm used to doing evening shows, so bear with me. So we're talking about what can Trump do to get us out of Iran satisfactorily.
Well, the first thing is he needs to get his silly, stupid ass off the stage.
Anytime you can't start it, you can't answer a question about disrespecting the commander-in-chief in the opening. Come on, you're disrespecting the president.
Yes, I can. He is up on stage, looks like Bozo the Clown, telling bad jokes, looks like a damn idiot.
Isn't any person, any comedian entitled to a few bad jokes here or there, though?
Trump deserves to have some pile of shit smashed up onto his door of the White House.
How do you respond to somebody who says you sound like you got Trump derangement syndrome? Why are you speaking so ill of the president?
Because he doesn't care about America. There's nothing about what he is doing. It's not America first. There's nothing.
Well, I do have to push back.
This man is illiterate. This man is stupid. This man can't even tell a bad joke. Okay?
He told the bad joke. He actually succeeded at telling a bad joke. That joke was really bad. But, I mean, you say he's not America first. Here he is preventing our arch enemy from getting a nuclear bomb. How is that not America first? Isn't that protecting American lives?
No, he's only benefiting by, he's only trying to protect his family and himself.
How is preventing Iran something all of the subsequent presidents have talked about? They can't have a nuclear bomb. How is Trump preventing them from doing that, only looking out for his family?
It's not about the bombs. It's about money. People have to understand that this whole negotiation, this whole war, it is all about money. And the money decides everything.
Explain. Okay, you need to explain. What do you mean by it's all about money? How is money being made by maintaining America's safety from a nuclear nation?
Okay, so going back to there was a news feed where Marco Rubio was talking about we have a deal coming, we basically have this coming and like everything else, and he mentioned that there's a deal that is being made. They didn't really specify anything of the deal. Now, also being said, did you see the conference of it was a conference of the meeting with Pete Hegseth, and he was asking for another $6 billion.
Because they're trying, and they made it clear that money was at least until September. Yeah, they know the war is going to go a lot longer, so they're trying to get. And I see in the comments. Hold on a second, because Dencal in the comments is saying that we're currently moving weapons and munitions from Europe to the Middle East. So apparently we're running short on what's in the Middle East, and Trump is talking about stepping up the attack. So what do you think? What do you think the end game is? How is Trump going to get us out of this, though?
Man, I really don't think there's going to be an end to it, though. I would say I would say there might be an end game to it, though, but it all depends on who is able to do this or like who is able to do that. But I would give that to it's a DNCAL, because I know that
you would refer that question to him. So let me ask you this. Yeah. Let me ask you this point at least then. Okay, so we got a little bit more than 2 years of Trump. If things go the way that they do traditionally, Trump will serve until January of 2029 is when we'll swear in another president. So he has 2 years and some months. Do you think the war will be over with by then?
Probably not. Look at the war. What's happening with Russia and Kuwait, or the Russia war.
So Trump, a war that Trump originally stated was only going to go on for 2 to 4 weeks. You're suggesting that you could see it going on for over 2 years.
It's probably going to happen. It's because I would say I'm not saying that President Biden wasn't perfect, though, but at least he was able to get certain things accomplished. Trump is now starting multiple wars, though, and Trump.
What do you mean by
even try
starting multiple wars? Explain. What do you mean by starting multiple wars?
Well, he started the Iran whole thing, and then the whole Iraq, though, and then he wants to not help or stop it is the Russia war.
The Russian-Ukraine war is not his responsibility, though. He promised to end it. He has obviously failed miserably at his claim of ending it in 24 hours.
Right,
but that's not his war. In fact, Trump tried to make it sound like that was Biden's war, suggesting that it wouldn't have happened if he was president. But his behavior or his negotiating skills since he became president makes it clear he wouldn't have likely ended. He would not have prevented the Ukraine-Russian war either. I mean, it doesn't look like that. But that's not his war. He doesn't own that.
Yeah, but any time when you're at least maybe 6 months into a year, it is now your economy.
True.
You have to start taking the responsibility and accountability for your actions. And Trump is not doing that. And I don't know if anybody in here disagree, or if they disagree. And you have to be able to look at, okay, now I am in power. What am I going to do? I need to start making things more better, but not make them.
But do you agree with at least the premise of this, and that was to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon? I mean, maybe Trump went in and he didn't completely or accurately estimate things, or maybe he listened a little bit too much to Bibi Netanyahu. But do you at least agree that he was trying on behalf of this nation to do the right thing?
I think Benjamin Yahoo got to him somehow, and they made a serious, weird of a deal, and was in his ear. And they said, well, if Kamala won't do this, we need you. and you look like the perfect man for the job. Let's
Do
get
you
this
think?
done.
Let me ask it to you this way. Speaking of Kamala Harris, if Kamala Harris had won, do you think she too would have followed Bibi Netanyahu's path and went into war with Iran? Do you think we would be at war with Iran right now under President Harris?
No, she would smack the fuck out of her.
Smack the fuck out of who?
Benjamin.
Now they were saying that Genocide Joe has got to go. So the liberals, the progressives were even chastising Joe Biden, indicating that he too was letting Israel do whatever they wanted to, though.
Maybe, but it all depends on how you look at it, though. It's because, Benjamin Yahoo is basically in Trump's pockets, though. He is in his.
What do you mean by pockets?
Wallet.
What do you mean by wallet? What are you saying? He's giving them money?
Yeah, like what else? What else can it be? He like he's shaking his he's shaking him down. Like he wants to
He could be giving Trump what Trump believes is sound advice on how to keep our great nation safe.
He's giving Trump a hand job, and very secretly he's like, "Hey, man, what you got in them pockets, man?
Oh my
what you got in them pockets?"
Okay, so you don't think what Netanyahu is doing as a supposed ally of America, that being Israel, you don't believe that Netanyahu is operating on the best interests of America?
Right. He's not acting on the best interests of his own people.
Wow.
And with America, though, because Trump shouldn't be listening to Benjamin Yahuwah. I don't even know why, but he is connected. He's a warmonger. He is a warlord criminal that is going to be coming here or going to New York. And I'm also hoping that the mayor.
That's not going to happen. You want Zohan Mamdani to place Benjamin Netanyahu under arrest. Mamdani has already indicated he can't do that. He does believe that Netanyahu is a war criminal, but he has indicated that he knows he can't do it. Not to mention, I think Trump would rather lock up Mamdani than Netanyahu. So I think if Mamdani took Netanyahu into custody, I think Netanyahu could depend on Trump to threaten to lock up Mamdani fighting for his release. So yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I gotta move it on, but you're not the only one that believes that Netanyahu is a war criminal that should be locked up. Not the only one in America, but that's not gonna happen on this visit. I don't know if he's gonna avoid New York though, but if he does go to New York because of Mamdani's threats, he'll have a hell of a lot of federal security.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So. Oh yeah. So it is what it is, but it is based on how it is all or like how it is all like sounding now. So
that's your president, man. I gotta move it on.
No, man.
That is your president. I want you to say that. This guy who wears this hat, affectionately, this is your guy. This is your president too. Am I correct?
How about you put on the MAGA hat?
I gotta go. Thank you. Twisted. Appreciate it. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 30,000. Happy Sunday, folks. Variety of topics. This is a Sunday show, so we do have an open forum. So we do allow you to pose political questions that don't always have to resonate with the topics. We certainly are willing to let the show go in any direction today politically. We want to always deliver an entertaining product. So compliments, complaints, comments, suggestions, we take all of that on these type of shows. And by the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, I need you guys to smash that like button. We got multiples of what the actual likes are. So some of you folks, doesn't cost you anything, smash that like button. Quick poll question on YouTube. Folks are just getting it, just responding. Looks like about 40 folks almost have responded. Will the Iran war be over by the end of Trump's term? Will the Iran war be over with by the end of Trump's term? Out of the 40 plus respondents, now it's ticking up a little bit. 24% say yes, the war will be over with by the end of Trump's term. 24%. 74% say no. That's 2+ years from now. That is folks predicting that this war will still be going on 2+. So obviously there's going to be more casualties. There's no way in hell, even only bombing from the air, that we're going to do that for 2 continuous years without taking more casualties. Wow. And I don't think we would continue bombing them from the air alone for 2 years either. I mean, we're having a shortage of weapons now. Can you imagine how much money that would cost? That's the most expensive weaponry we use, is when you do it from the air. It's not expensive to fire rounds at somebody, but when you're dropping missiles and tomahawks and shit, that stuff costs a lot of money. 2 years? Shit, we'll be fucking bankrupt by then. Wow. Wow, I'm surprised you guys are saying that. Anyway, tap the screen, get us up to 30,000. We'll take the next caller. In the comments, how many identify as Democrats in that percentage? Wake up. I don't know, but Terry Hayes, I will ask you in the comments, do you believe the war will be over with toward the end of Trump's term? I'd be curious. I mean, look, because we do entertain comments from all sides of the aisle. You don't have to be liberal or MAGA. We take everybody's calls. We don't block, ban, or censor you at all. Americans are going through this for a country that didn't have a nuke to open in a strait that was not even closed, says Sassy Mo. That is strong, strong language there. I also want to ask you folks, I'm going to ask this to the next caller. I mentioned this earlier in the live stream. We'll ask this to the very next caller because I want to get this out in the open. One of my MAGA friends, I got plenty of MAGA I talk to on social media, whether we're talking on here or whether we're talking even personally. I got folks that are friends that are MAGA. This comment, dear black people, no matter what you've heard from brainwashed people, MAGA doesn't hate black people. We embrace all, double exclamation point, even those that hate us for no reason. Why is it that MAGA seem to think that folks are suggesting they don't like black people? Why are folks suggesting that MAGA is intolerant, bigoted, or racist? I want to get to the bottom of that. Hopefully I can get some MAGA on here to help explain that, because I don't want to tackle it on my own. So we'll go to one and only Doomsday. Doomsday, good evening.
It's the only thing that comes out of your mouth. That's why. What do you mean, why does MAGA think that? That is the only thing that comes out of your mouth.
So you said all MAGAs listen? So all MAGAs listening to little old me? So all MAGAs listening to little old me?
Well, you and your ilk, people like you.
Thank you for the musical treat.
I mean, seriously.
Okay, now, you say this coming out of my mouth. Why am I saying that? Am I not giving any context?
I just said, listen carefully, not just you.
Okay.
People, other victims like you are saying that. You can't turn on Caitlin, you can't turn on the news without it being said. And it's fine. Feel the way you're going to feel. That's all you guys do. You don't think, you just feel. That's it. Even in the questions you ask, you don't ask, do you think the war is going to be going on? Do you feel the war is going to go on?
What's the difference?
The difference is, one, you do with your head. You use your brain to think. That's the only organ you should be thinking with. The other you do with your feelings. What do you feel?
You're playing.
That's your problem, Tim.
You're playing.
You don't know the difference between thinking and feeling.
So if I ask my mechanic, do you feel that this car could make it another 100 miles? You don't think he is actually thinking? It's all an emotion. To me, you're just playing word games.
No. If you say to him, by the way, if I'm your mechanic and you ask, do you feel that my car got, fuck my feelings, how do I feel about something? Look at the evidence. The evidence says your tires are bald. You goddamn gas that you're putting in here is wrong. You don't know what an oil change is. No, your car ain't going anywhere.
Right. So you're gonna instantly
fries under your seat.
Right. So you're gonna instantly convert feel to being thinking. I mean, I don't know why
That's your problem.
You're making
Tim, that's your problem because you do that. I do not do that.
I think.
And look, let's look at the facts. Let's look at the facts. Do I think this war is going to go on?
Wait a minute. I want to know about this. I'll give you plenty of time to discuss the war. Why do you think or feel that so many folks, including you said me as well, why are we saying that MAGA is intolerant or racist? Why do we feel or think that way? Why do you think that is?
Well, no, that's not the question. The question is, the question you asked is, why do MAGA think that you feel that way?
Okay, let's
That's
go with
the
that.
question.
Let's go with that
Okay,
first.
The answer to that question is because that's what you're told constantly by your press and by your leadership. It's the only way you'll vote for some of the bullshit you vote for. You've got to have a boogeyman, and MAGA is your boogeyman.
So what are you suggesting that the left side of the aisle, particularly maybe people of color, hold on, let me frame it. It sounds like you're suggesting that the left side of the aisle and even people of color have no sort of individual reasoning beyond the media. So if the media tells them the earth is flat, all the liberals are going to run around saying the earth is flat. Is that what you're saying? They don't have their own...
Despite the evidence of I would match up every single MAGA or BLAGA. Let's just go with BLAGA.
Okay.
We match bank account for every BLAGA against liberal, against a Democrat, and see the difference. See the educational difference. See the way that they view politics. That they're not victims of things they actually do participate.
Well, they view politics to the right. The other side views them to the left. That's the only difference in viewing politics.
It's not the only difference. No. Education, their economical situation.
I absolutely disagree with you on educational. I mean, when you look at a lot of...
You're wrong.
Well, I'm telling you.
Horrifically wrong. You haven't looked at the data. You say that you've been to a MAGA or to a Trump rally, right?
True.
You've been to a Trump rally. All right. And how were you treated there?
I was treated fine.
Yeah. Like rock star. I've been to a myself.
I don't know about, well, it was good treatment. Yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And that's what you don't tell people.
I do. Bullshit.
You're a victim.
Bullshit.
No, you don't, because you're a victim.
Why would I go to, if I'm being victimized, wait a minute. If I'm being victimized at a Trump rally, why the hell would I went back to a second one? Obviously, I don't feel like I'm being victimized.
You didn't like it. You didn't like not being treated the way you thought you were going to be treated.
Bullshit.
You wanted to be treated. Yes.
Now you are using your feelings. You're adding stuff that I have never said anything like that.
No, but you don't say the opposite. You don't say. No one to this date has ever heard that you were treated well.
That is not true. I've been talking about. You didn't hear it.
Never heard.
Okay, then that's you. I've been talking about the fact that when I went to Trump rallies, I got interviewed and everything. I've never hit that. I've described everything about it. I've had MAGA folks tell me that Trump was appointed by God.
You treat people that treat you very well. I mean, I'm shocked because you do nothing but talk shit about MAGA. And yet you were treated superlatively at a MAGA rally.
Okay, but what's so special about that? Bill Maher went to meet Trump and had him sign a list of insults. People go see Trump and hang out with Trump that he insults all the damn time too.
Unlike you.
No, that ain't what. Hear me out. No, hear me out. You're saying, why would I go to a Trump rally when I speak ill of Trump? What I'm saying is plenty of people that Trump criticized all the time go hang around him.
What I said.
What are you saying?
What are you saying? What I said, the difference between you and Bill Maher is that he changed his opinion about the president when he didn't act the way he thought he was going to. You went expecting one thing, didn't get that, and still
did not change your opinion. That is not true. When I went to a Trump rally, just like when I went to Obama rallies, everybody there is assumed to be. They assume that everybody is there for the same reason. Nobody is really fucking and fighting with each other at all. If I went to a Charlie Kirk event, everybody assumes I'm there for what everybody else is there for.
No, there's a ton of people that would go to Charlie Kirk. Now you're talking about something I've done. There were tons of people at Charlie Kirk events, Ben Shapiro events. They were locked in an auditorium once. There were tons of people that protested and went there and did not feel the way that those two speakers felt. And I've attended both of those.
Well, the point I'm making is I didn't hide the fact that when I went to Trump's rallies, people treated me nice. I did not hide that whatsoever. You just didn't hear it.
For a couple of years, never heard you say that before.
Did you hear me say anything? Did you hear me say anything negative about when I went to the rally?
Every single.
What did I say?
Well, not when you went to the rally.
Right.
When you went to the rally.
Right. Exactly.
But what I'm saying to you is you conveniently leave that. Why do you think I sound so surprised? Because you've conveniently left that.
I haven't.
Out.
I have not. If you listen
many times,
maybe it's on shows you haven't listened to, but plenty of the.
This is true.
For one, white key man.
Oh my God! I thought we bombed your truck
Let
stop.
me break this shit down to you. He's not a victim.
Please,
He's not
there
a
are
victim.
truckers waiting for your services. Why can't you? This is not your break.
Let me tell you something. You said that maggots are not racist. You voted for him. So if you're not racist, why are you guys taking books out of schools on Black history? If you're not racist, why is he doing shit to Black and brown immigrants?
And you will. And hold on. And straight talk. After this, you do have some time left. But go ahead.
Why? Yeah, you shut the fuck up, huh?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, she's talking to you. Yes.
Why didn't I don't listen to her, Tim. I did not know she was talking to me. Please translate whatever
I said this.
maggot said. Please.
You dumb.
Please give me a translation. I don't speak.
Spoiled biscuit.
Scumbag.
Let me say it again. Why is the maggot taking Black history out of the schools, out of everywhere? Why did he take?
Give me an example. Give me an example.
What do you mean example?
Yes, you obviously have an example.
That's
in
a
mind.
legitimate question.
Example.
That's a legitimate question.
Florida.
Yeah, give me an example of it.
Took it out of the schools in Florida. They took it out of a lot of southern schools. Why?
What history? What history was it taken out of? Huh?
Go ahead. Black history.
No. What in Black history? Help me out here. What in Black history do you feel was taken out?
You're such a slow fucking moron. For real. I swear to God. And I promise
you.
I'm a fist slap your dumb ass. You know what the hell I'm doing.
Gangsta grandma, he is asking you legitimate questions. I mean, you got to be the back of what you said.
You wouldn't know that unless you slapped her across the face.
All of Black history, and then CRT.
Not all of Black history is being taken out.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. And you can only teach so much history.
Yes, it is. Yes, you know what they said? You know what they said? Oh my God, they can't hear. Oh, the white T kids can't. The white T kids can't. Can't understand it because why? We're gonna make them feel so bad about your asses.
What?
Yeah, they said it. They did. Mm-hmm.
Who did? Are they in the room with you right now? You are the biggest moron on TikTok. You hold the crown.
I'm not the one that voted for a rapist. I'm not the one that voted for a felon.
Most people who need a seeing eye dog, you need a dog thinking for you.
For a rich cracker. I'm not the one that voted for a racist. I'm not the one that
you voted for a cabbage.
And the way you be
then you voted for a
with your
drunk
big old
cabbage.
head, I wouldn't want to be in the same room with you. I feel sorry for your wife. For real. Does she have to look at your diggly and it's fucking white as shit? That is pink as hell. I would never want to look at you butt naked. You would make me vomit. You would make me vomit.
I mean, good God, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you racist.
My wife just walked right past my office when she was saying this.
They are taking Black history out of school books. Why are they taking CRT, so-called, out of Black?
And you can't give me one example.
Why are they doing that?
Put it
Why
back.
are they doing that? Why are they doing that? Answer my damn question.
Put it back. Why are you studying from that book? Why are your children at that school? If they're taking out the history, Good
Oh no,
Lord.
not in my schools. I'm not taking history out.
Gangsta Grandma, hold on.
Some school is
Gangsta-
getting history removed.
The handsome one on Clapper says, you know she didn't exactly answer that. The handsome one on Clapper says, you know she didn't exactly answer the question, what history was removed. So Gangsta Grandma, they're saying...
I said black
He
history
doesn't know.
about
She
slavery.
can't wipe her own ass.
Bitch, you can't wipe your own ass. Yo, bitch.
Walking around with
Go
a
ahead.
dirty
Answer my
ass.
answer
Hitting
my
every
damn
truck
question.
stop in town.
Answer my question.
Wow.
That's your mama, bitch.
Wow.
That's your mama at the truck stop. Your mama should have swallowed you. You are
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
You are
3 more
one of
minutes
these
of this
types
with
of
some
white
Levi's for
people,
$20.
But you don't even know who your daddy is.
What are you, some kind of
You could have been
carnival
your mama's
barker?
brother.
Where do you
know
get
what I'm
freaks
saying?
like this,
You could have
dude?
been
You
your
gotta be
mama's
ashamed of your
brother.
damn self.
The way, hold on.
Motherfucking nasty
The way the
fucking
program is ran, I know Straight Talk already knows, and so does Gangsta Grandma. But for folks who are wondering, how do you come up with a guess? The way it's ran is you give a galaxy. If you hear a guess saying shit you don't agree with, you send a galaxy and you get 10 minutes to straighten that guess out. Continue.
We call that the straight
So
talk
what?
commerce
So what? It
rule.
hasn't
That's the
been
rule.
10 minutes.
That's what we call
It
it.
hasn't
I'm the
been
only
10
one
minutes.
that can
So
put food on
my
this thing.
question. Answer my damn question.
You-
Why
honey, I
are
stopped
they
listening to
taking-
you a
why are they
long time
taking
ago.
slavery out of the books. Why? Why are you guys so afraid of people knowing the real history about your white tea people? Why are you guys so afraid that the white tea kids will be hurt by it? Why? Answer that.
I'm denying that it even happens. You can't even come up with
Oh my
one example.
Tiff,
So I'm sorry.
are they taking
Fix
it out
it.
of the history book?
Put your
Are they
kid
taking-
in a different school.
Are they, Tim? Come on, quick.
Homeschool them.
Get the white
You
ticket
got
out
your
your mouth.
Let me interject. Now listen, when you set a galaxy up and you want to challenge against it, I don't want to be in a position where I gotta defend your point. You're the one that's saying it. Yes.
You do.
Yeah, hold on.
Help her out.
Hold on. I'll help her out.
And black authors.
Yeah, I'll help her out.
And you speak for her. How about that?
Why are they taking another question? Why
I'll
they
give you a
taking black
galaxy if you get
authors
rid of her.
out of public libraries and schools? Why are they taking black authors out? Why? And keeping white authors in? Why?
I'm not running that school, dear.
Hey,
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no familiarity with what you're talking about.
Libraries. Why? Why they
Okay,
taking
here we go. This came. Hold on, both of you. But in regards to her question, Straight Talk, I want you guys to hold on because somebody sent a super chat that says to ask Alexa what history is. Alexa, is Black history being removed from schools?
They did.
There's a nationwide push in many states to limit or reshape Black history lessons, often framed as restricting critical race theory. As of mid-2026, 44 states have proposed or passed laws curbing how schools teach race and Black history. These measures aim to remove certain perspectives, but educators and civil rights groups are fighting to keep comprehensive Black history in curricula. Are you interested in learning about...
Alexa, stop.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
and listen, I'll make it clear. When she came up, I normally leave it up to the folks to defend their points, but Straight Talk, she is right. This has been happening, and I play clips about it, but I want the guests to be able to defend their own
And you
point.
think that comes from the White House?
Or
You
not.
think that the White House has something to do with it? Or tell me who's responsible for that?
Yeah.
You voted for it.
Yeah, hold on.
Listen, I voted for the individual. Yes, I did. And by the way, if they're not teaching history, that's an issue. That's a problem.
You
Okay?
voted for it. Thank
Just
you,
like
you
not
voted
teaching
for
you
it. You walk like a duck.
sanitation.
You talk like a duck.
Hygiene. They should have taught you hygiene.
You
Don't worry
So,
about
so why do you think it's happening? Just to, because her time is almost up. But why do you? Because she asked originally, why are they removing stuff that is in relation to Black history?
Because they racist.
Straight Talk.
Well, look, listen. I don't know what their motives are. I have no idea.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
What other motive could there be?
Goddamn question.
Now he's playing I don't know.
Put it back in your mouth and keep sucking, and let me answer your question.
They're racist, Pookie.
All right, Gangsta Grandma, I gotta drop you for time.
Yeah, please.
Thank you. Yes. Wow, you used to handling her, huh? Wow. In the comments, Sweetie Rebel says, "Why does MAGA believe that Black people think they are racist?" Open your ears.
Can I answer now? Can I give an answer without her interrupting me?
Yeah,
when I was in 8th grade, Texas history, I went to Booker T. Washington Junior High. And we had a slave auction at that school to teach us about slavery. Okay? Every student had to be auctioned to other students. They take half the class.
Wow.
They auction up. Yeah. Today, people think that is some like horrifying thing. And that was the point. The point of it was to show you how horrible this was to do to someone. Well, we sanded down the corners on our history. And now you're left with people who don't understand how fucking terrible it is. So they don't think twice about plucking things out of history and making things or ignoring things. You see what I'm saying? When we don't confront our history, this is what we're left with.
I agree with you, but I don't know if it went down like that. Let's get to the Iran war.
What do you mean you don't know if it went down like that?
I don't believe we sanded our history down. I believe that was the goal from day one. People talking about the Civil War was not about slavery. Confederacy is about.
As we get further away from history or historical events, those are blunted.
I don't think.
Yes, I do.
That's not true because. I'll give you an example of something that shocked the nation. The miniseries Roots when it came out in the 70s. It shocked because they weren't even teaching about slavery before that point. So it was blunted from day one.
I just told you while that was going on, that miniseries was going on, it was required for us to watch.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making.
Put it on TV now.
You said the further we get away from an event, the more blunted it gets. What I'm trying to tell you is they blunted it from day one.
No.
Yes.
No.
Bullshit. They blunted it from day one. You go back to the 1920s and shit like that. They weren't really talking about how horrible they were treating people.
Hold on. I think what you're misunderstanding is, look, you can't reenact it every day. Okay, yes, they start blunting it from day one only because it's
horrible.
Certain things that are that horrible, they do need to water down. That's why we don't talk about Genghis Khan the way that he.
Why would you water down what actually happened to American citizens? So what do you want to see? You want to see the World Trade Center standing, and then the next photo shows the rubble, so you don't show the aircraft crashing into the buildings and people jumping? You want to water that down as time goes on?
No, but what happened from day one of that, you don't see any clips of people jumping from the towers to their death.
There are plenty of clips easy to find of that. They never tried to hide what happened on September 11th. They never.
By the way, with the advent of AI, it's even harder to find that.
I don't believe they ever tried to water down what happened on fucking September 11th. We have never tried to water that down. We tried to water down what we.
That's why people listen. That is why we are turning our back on our greatest ally. That's why many of you hate Netanyahu and hate Israel, is because you don't realize how pivotal they were after 9/11 for us.
What did they do?
That's why.
What did they do that's so pivotal?
They gave us all the intelligence on how to find these people. Where do you think we got that intelligence? See, you're making faces now. You think we found them? No.
I'm making faces because they are who most folks believe are responsible for the intelligence that suggests Iran was only weeks away from getting a nuke as well.
Yeah, and they were right. And we know that now.
No, we don't know that now. How do you know we know that now?
Maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know that now. I am very comfortable. And by the way, let me just tell you, what is Iran going to fight with for the next 2 years? I mean, you got to think. You don't think that you think this war is going to continue for the next 2 years. And under other administrations, it would. You'd be right. So I don't blame you for that. But under this administration, they won't have two sticks to fight with in 2 years. He is going a methodical breakdown of that entire regime. And in 2 months, in 6 months, they won't have the means to defend themselves.
Can this be done solely from the air?
I don't know. And I'm not afraid of going in a ground war.
I know, because you ain't going to be in it. You're not going to be on the ground there.
That's not why. That's not why. Because we have the 10th mountain. You think we don't fight in the mountains? Fuck a mountain. The United States military fights in the mountains every single day. They ain't shit. The Iranians do not have an army willing to meet the United States military on the field of battle.
I don't understand how you guys can indicate that Iran.
Because we've been through it.
That ain't what I'm saying.
Why.
That's not what I'm about to say. I don't understand why you guys can always suggest that Iran is suicidal and all of this shit. But then all of a sudden you think you can threaten to kill them into compliance. If they don't mind dying, they don't mind dying.
No one's threatening to kill them into
compliance. Hey, the guy said he's gonna kill the guy said he's gonna destroy. Wait. What the hell does it mean a whole civilization will cease to exist? Is that not threatening to kill them?
No. It's a threat when it's not backed up. We are not threatening anybody. We're actually doing it. You can watch us do that thing. And whatever is left can make their own decision. But a threat stops being a threat when you take action.
You got an ally. The handsome conservative says you're wasting your time, Straight Talk. The Democrats do not have the stomach for a poor problem something. So he's saying we don't have the stomach for this. So apparently you guys need to get the job done.
He's not wrong. I mean, you guys,
he is wrong.
If it were up to you, we would have lost on day one. You guys have
there wouldn't be a day one. If it was up to us, there wouldn't be a day one. The Strait of Hormuz would be open.
Never shown a backbone. There is no end, no depth to your cowardice.
We've never shown the backbone, yet every time the Democrats are in charge, the world is at peace. Maybe we don't need to go around starting war with everybody.
You think, wait. What war did Barack Obama stop? What war did Joe Biden
The Iraq War started? The Iraq War ended under Obama, not to mention him killing bin Laden.
No, it didn't. It ended under Biden in Afghanistan too.
The Iraq War ended under Biden?
I mean, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you. Mike, talk to me, Mike. You got another guess. You got another guess.
It's because Barack Obama got his hands on it, Tim. That's my point.
A couple things, Tim. So
wait, hold on a second, Mike. Hold on, real quick, Mike. Hold on, Mike. I got a question for Straight Talk. Hold on. Somebody wanted to ask you a question. That is, have you ever heard of who the Sisters of the Confederacy are?
Sisters, yes, of course.
Give me a quick explanation. What was their goal? What was their purpose?
I have no idea what their ultimate goal is.
Mike, talk to me, Mike.
People that are they're families of Confederates that don't think the South has permanently lost the war.
Okay, Mike, what brought you up?
A couple of things that
retardation.
He's just trying to get kicked because he knows he's about to get smoked on his own points. First of all, at no time in the history of the United States has reenacting slave auctions been part of curriculum. These have been choices by teachers to do it, and they've been very controversial because when they do it, there's this very significant a racial component about that, right? It's been very derogatory. It's never been part of the curriculum, period.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
The funny thing is, well, of course, Tim, because that's not something that they would do in most schools. They do that shit at these other schools and in these circles like he's in. But it's funny how he ran because he didn't want to face another.
So what you're saying is they're almost doing it in a form of mocking what happened.
Absolutely. Wow. Don't take my word for it. Just look it up. Ask Alexa. Y'all it's so funny how he ran. Because he knows
he did leave. I didn't Straight Talk.
He's been gone because he said I have no clue, but he can't defend that shit. He can't defend what I just said with facts.
He handled Gangsta Grandma, but he ran from you. Okay, fair enough.
Well, can you imagine somebody that simps so hard for this administration and has no clue who the Sisters of Confederacy are?
Yeah, I think in this environment, mostly everybody know who they are. I was really surprised. I thought he would have said something else other than I don't know who they are or what they stood for, rather.
You know why, Tim? Because it's easier Deniable plausibility. I just told you this. I just told your ass this at the beginning of this week. Deniable plausibility, right? If I don't say I know who they are, when you ask me, do I agree with them, I don't have to answer that.
So what you're saying is look, if I play ignorance, then I don't have to, like you said, I don't have to answer for what they did. I'll just say, like what Trump did when he got an endorsement from David Duke. Well, I don't know who that person is. Same thing with David Fuentes when he came to his house or whatever that guy's name. I don't know who he is. Just plead ignorance.
Absolutely, and that's all he has to do, right? But he can just walk away and drop the way he did, right? Because all he had to do, and listen, if you're chirping in the comments, just pay the Galaxy and come up and have the conversation. But I know you won't do that, so just go away.
So then I'm gonna ask you. You would be the one to ask this question. Did you see the clip I've read that I got from one of my MAGA guys sent this to me? Says, "Dear black people, no matter what you've heard from brainwashed people, MAGA doesn't hate black people. We embrace all, ! Even those that hate us for no reason." Why is there this stipulation that MAGA hates black people, or even having MAGA have to say, quit saying we hate black people, we embrace all folks? Why is this orbiting around MAGA? What say you?
Well, because they accept everything that points to hatred towards black, brown, and indigenous people and people in the LGBTQ community. It's not even.
What are they accepting? I got to get you to elaborate. Folks are going to want to hear what the hell you're talking about. What do they accept that indicates they hate black or brown people?
They accept the idea that DEIA is a bad thing. They accept woke is a bad thing. They accept CRT is a bad thing. They accept transgenders in bathrooms is a real thing. Do I need to keep? They accept that undocumented immigrants in this country are raping and pillaging and murdering all of these Americans as if it's an epidemic or a pandemic, or it's something that is a higher priority than what U.S. citizens are doing to one another in this country. They bought into that. They bought into everything that I just said. Now, I can also support that by saying, when you look at this administration trying to strip out certain parts of history, you brought up the sisters of the daughters of the Confederate, sisters of the Confederacy.
Yeah.
They've been going around reworking history books to strip out the actual history. They've been doing it all the time. Yeah. No, you can't. You got to pay. You got to request, but you got to pay straight. It's a Galaxy to come back up. Don't say I requested. Pay. He's in the comments. That's why I'm just addressing it. What I'm saying, Tim, is when they send that, what that post is about, just so you know, that post is about.
And somebody can send a Galaxy for him too. You know, we do that as well. If you send it and you say it's for doomsday.
Look, like you said, not a chance.
Yeah, if somebody send it and they say it's for him, that can happen too. But go ahead.
But that would be socialism, Tim. That would be a handout. That would be him.
No, it could be something. No, let me defend straight talk. Let me defend straight talk. Put on my MAGA hat and defend my MAGA. Maybe somebody believes that straight talk is better at making a point than they are. Like we had Evil on earlier, and he was talking about war questions would be better for Denkow than himself. So maybe somebody believes that straight talk would be better at answering questions in defense of MAGA than another MAGA member themselves.
Sure, that's cool. I can accept that. I can respect that. So when you ask about that post, can you put that post back on your back stand for a minute? Because I want people to look at it when I say what I'm getting ready to say. That is a message to soften some black people that voted for Trump the first time, because they're looking for votes because the midterms coming up. They don't give a fuck about black people. That is softening. That's trying to, rub you underneath your on your underbelly and rub you behind your ears, right before. Yeah, that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Because here's the thing: you tell me a time before where you've seen that message come from MAGA.
I've heard MAGA. I mean, they defend when Charlie Kirk was taken out. The same rumors that Charlie Kirk and MAGA were racist, they were defending it then. They were saying we're not. I mean, we've heard he's giving money to HBCUs. He's loaned money to Jesse Jackson. They've been defending themselves against claims of racism. Trump stated basically himself, I am the least racist person you know. He's also said he's done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln. And before you respond, I need some of you folks to help your boy out with the hat and mustache TikTok cap goes. I gotta throw that in there. Show the program some love. So they have been defending themselves against claims of intolerance, bigotry, and racism, Mike.
But what have they been doing?
What do you mean doing?
They can say that. What are they doing? What have they been doing? What are their actions? What are their actions? For example, you remember when Doge first started and they started firing all those people and the 400,000 black women lost their jobs? And people were saying it wasn't targeted. It wasn't targeted. Then they went and interviewed the actual young men they put in there to go do those data searches. And what did those young men say? What did those young men? You don't remember that? They have depositions. They had depositions, and they said they were told to target certain people by keywords.
Yeah, they were going. Yeah, they were going after the LGBTQ. But they were claiming it was DEI. So if you're claiming you're going after DEI, that's going to mostly net you minorities. I mean, in fact, if you're going into an organization and your goal is to get rid of DEI, white people are safe. Even the women, even though DEI was predominantly meant to help white women, they're not going to get. I mean, DEI is almost basically saying go fire people of color.
Absolutely, and that's what they did. But then they want to put a post on Twitter to make you feel comfortable about the shit behind you right now, and we're supposed to believe that. This is why I've said all the time, white America expects everyone else to reach into that bag of snakes and find out which ones are poisonous and which ones are not. And it's not. It's not a logical thing to ask somebody.
But you do understand there are a lot of white people that not only have fought for everything from abolition of slavery to end slavery, they fought for blacks to have civil rights, they marched with Martin Luther King. You've seen what Kyle Rittenhouse did. When the people he killed were white. They were out there protesting on behalf of, there's a lot of white people. You've seen Mississippi Burning. The victims in that movie were white. There's a lot of white people. So when you say reaching in a bag and trying to figure out which one is not a snake, there's a lot of white people that are allies of the movement for minorities. Even Minnesota, Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good are white people.
Absolutely, and you just cut me off, but I'm going to finish what I was saying. But they weren't in the bag. They weren't in the bag. They separate themselves, Tim.
They weren't in the bag. Okay, they weren't in the bag.
And they separate themselves, Tim. And the minute they separate themselves and let it be known what they stand for, the rest of the snakes call them what, Tim?
N-word lovers?
Go ahead. No. You interrupted me before. Now finish my sentence. What do they call the rest? If you don't show yourself clearly, once white folks show themselves that they don't stand for racism, bigotry, hatred, homophobia, misogyny, once they come out, what do they consider, Tim?
Well, there's a bunch of terms. I was going to go to the. Hold on, let me respond to you. I would go to the classic term, which is N-word lover. But somebody in the comments mentioned woke. They could be called traitors. They could be. There's a ton of terms they use. They're all negative, but I went with the classic N-word lovers.
Okay, cool. So you take all of those, they're all negative, but what's negative about what they're doing?
Somebody said they are doomsday. Well, what's negative? They're going against the cause. They're being traitors to their own race.
Well, what's the cause? And see, and let's dive into this for a second. What are they being traitors to?
They're being traitors to the movement.
And what's the movement?
The movement could be anything from promoting white Christian nationalism, could be racism, could be bigotry, could be getting rid of LGBTQ, all this trans shit. Depends on what they're fighting against.
Are any of those things positive to the core of what I'm using my air quotes, what America's supposed to be about?
It's not positive to what we say America's supposed to be like, but America's always lied about its actual mission, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So your post behind you says one thing. See how I took this all the way back around to your post? That's what they're saying in that post. But what do they actually mean, Tim?
You gotta have a conversation. You gotta have a conversation with each one individually. Each one individually.
I walk that for a reason. I walk that for a reason because you're right. There are good people. There are good white people out there that don't believe in this bullshit and they fight the real fight and they stand up and they do it. And then there's people like Straight Talk. And there's people like Bake Boss, and there's people like Cedric that every time they comment on something, it's just to be a contrarian because they're okay with it.
Well, as Trump once eloquently stated, there are good people on both sides. Can we hold up the Trump was right at? Trump said there are good people on both sides. So listen, every person is not down for bigotry, racism, or whatever. Some folks are down for the cause of equality and civil rights.
Let's do this real quick. I want to pivot to the White House correspondence real quick. I'm going to prove my point through his own words.
Sure.
First of all, it was so bad for me personally. It was so bad. It was funny, and it was funny because the joke. See, first of all, how tone deaf do you have to be to tell any joke surrounding sex when it comes to the president? How tone deaf do you have to be?
Well, if you're not being held accountable for any of this shit, then I don't think you need to be tone deaf at all. He believes that the liberals and the media are making something out of nothing.
Right. No, Danny. Tim's not a Trump supporter. That's my sister in the comments. But hear me out. So he tells this joke. There's two things I want to talk about.
Got me thinking about E40. That's my sister. You know, but go ahead.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me. I'm going to talk offline. I'll tell you something about that. But so he tells a joke about, he said he had his senator friend, a good friend of his. You know, he always adds. His good friend of his, senator, told him that his wife told the senator, come upstairs and make love to
Yeah, that was the first clip we played. I actually have that for just
now.
Go ahead.
First of all, how tone deaf do you have to be to tell that joke? Number one, with all the things swirling around him, how tone deaf do you have to be? But when no one laughed, right?
You're assuming he cares about the shit that's swirling around him.
No, I'm saying this is the problem with that entire White House Correspondents' Dinner. He's so tone deaf, and this is what it means. When you tell a joke and get no response, here's the bottom line. People don't know when he's joking because he says the same stupid shit all the time. He could have told that same joke and been serious from the Oval Office with the press sitting there.
But I'll tell you something though. If he had told this joke at a MAGA rally, that shit would have been a hit. This same speech at a MAGA rally, he would have been killing it.
You know why, Tim?
Because they just go gonna give him love no matter what. Yeah, they would. Right? He would be killing it.
Sad. That's how sad the state of our politics are right now when we accept the behavior from him so much that we can't tell a joke from what he's saying when it comes to governing this country. That's how bad it is, Tim. Oh. And the other thing, did you hear about I'll drop down after this. Did you hear about the pee-pewing of the 17-year-old kid that called the 911 on himself? Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't. What happened?
So it's a 17-year-old kid calls 911 saying that there's a person, which was him, with a firearm, right? So it's maybe, and they're saying maybe he was having some mental issue, right?
Okay.
The police show up, the cars show up, they see him, they see the young man. The young man lifts his shirt up, and then with one hand, and then the other hand, you can see him reach back into his waist. They pew-pewed that boy 20 times. And guess what he had in his waistband, Tim?
What?
A bottle of water. Now, people are saying, was it unalivement by a cop because he called them on himself about having a firearm, and then he showed up? And so this is my pushback on that argument, and you'll start reading about it. Even if I gave somebody that argument that he was trying to get himself unalived by the police officer by saying he had a weapon, what is the state of this country where a 17-year-old believes the easiest way for me to get unalived is call the police, say I have a weapon, even if I don't have one?
To me,
all I gotta do is put my hand underneath my shirt.
To me, it would show the education system is working. I mean, if you watch the media, if you listen to the media, you watch TV, or you even read a book, you would be educated enough to know that, yeah, suicide by cop is real easy. I mean, how many people are telling, particularly the African American community, up to and including their own parents, that if you don't comply, you could lose your life? So, yeah, suicide by law enforcement is probably easier than doing it yourself. All you got to do is jerk, or in some cases, even just take off running. So it shows me that he was educated, because it's in all the movies, it's in many books, It's on the media. You'd have to be an idiot in America not to know how easy it is to actually be successful at suicide by cop. It's pretty easy. It's sad, as Ernita is saying, but it's a well-known issue.
But here's the funny thing. It's well-known. It's a well-known issue for us. And I believe it was in Austin, Texas, east side. But here's the thing, Tim. The day before that, there was a guy in Vegas. Did you see that guy? Running around with the AR-15? Running around with the AR-15 in a neighborhood, knocking on doors and pew-pewing into people's homes. Right?
I did hear about that. I did hear. They didn't take him out, though, did they?
No, they tased him. They tased him.
Had he not been to the tanning salon or something?
No, he hadn't been to the tanning at all. He was 8.5 by 11. And then
8.5 by 11, huh? Straight out of a trapper keeper, huh?
And then there was another guy who actually attacked the police officer.
I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that clown show.
And he gets tased.
But I gotta push back and say this. There are videos of African Americans that the cops do not immediately bestow violence upon that clearly deserves it. I mean, there's a video of a woman, an African American woman, sitting in her car at I think it's down in Nashville somewhere, and she ended up taking a shot at the officer before he ended up killing her. But he was incredibly patient. It was an older, overweight white guy, and it was this African American woman. It was on active self-protection, and there's plenty of clips of it. There are clips of some black people that have been able to do way more than they should get away with too. So it ain't always guaranteed. I believe the statistics are not in your favor, but it ain't guaranteed.
Well, I didn't say guaranteed, but if we go back to the example I gave you about the 17-year-old, he thought, if that's what he thought that the odds was in his favor, that if they show up, if you have a phone, if you have a water bottle, a wallet, nothing at all.
Them cops are getting off. I got to move on, Mike, but them cops are getting off. I don't know if I can even convict them for that. If a white guy calls the police on himself and uses the notion that somebody has a firearm, and when the police arrive, he started reaching and shit like that, I'm not for certain a white guy won't get shot either. I mean, you're kind of setting it up to a point where you're going to have anxious cops arrive, and then you're doing exactly what they're looking for. So, I mean, I get it may happen more to people of color, but you ain't safe if you do that as a white guy either.
You're alive. You're safer. You're safer.
Yeah,
you're safer.
Maybe.
I'm going to say this before you let me go. I don't care what color it is. How can you pull the trigger without even seeing a firearm?
Because of the 1 or 2 seconds.
You gotta see one first.
Somebody,
I mean, come on, Tim.
They ain't gonna. There's a lot of officers that have done some really egregious shit, but showing up to a call where somebody says there's a gun on site, and I mean, I'm sure when he reached, I'm sure they were already aiming guns at him. You can't make those type of moves. This ain't the time for you to get thirsty and reach for a bottle of water while people are aiming guns at you. If they say hands up and they got guns aimed at you, that ain't the time to take a drink from a bottle of water that is in your back. I mean, Mike, I can point to bad cops. That one, I don't know.
I do. Listen, there's been an escalation. I know you got to go. In the last 30 days, there's been an escalation of police violence that has led to fatalities for black and brown people, and it's getting out of control.
And that probably won't stop. Mike, thank you very much.
It's not going to stop.
No, I don't think it will. Tap the screen and get the likes on up to 50,000. But listen, for me personally, I think there's a difference between cops who are just fucking wrong, intolerant, bigoted, and racist, and then cops that may be what do I want to say, poorly trained, scared, just not doing their job properly. At best, I would put them what he just described in the second category. That don't sound like cops who were just there to murder a person of color. I mean, like, look, if they got guns aimed at you and you start reaching, I understand where he was coming from, saying, well, don't you have to at least see the firearm? Well, shit. And when you think about how quick it takes for a person to, how quick it takes for an efficient draw to placing rounds on target, We're talking, some people can do that between 1 and 2.5 seconds. That's it. I mean, in some cases, it takes your brain longer to realize what's happening and respond before that. So if a cop is aiming a gun at you, you don't make sudden movements. And this is what I always say in regards to this stuff. And I know it always falls horrible to my African American community because they don't want me saying anything that may actually absolve a cop of any responsibility. But I'm just going to say that people need to start treating cops the same way you would treat a bank robber or a fucking person robbing a liquor store or something like that. Or any criminal. Just because a person has a badge on, just because a person is aiming a weapon at you or yelling instructions at you and they're wearing a badge, quit assuming that they're going to treat you better than your average criminal or felon on the street. If somebody is aiming a gun at you, I don't care if it's somebody, as I said, robbing a liquor store, robbing a bank, or some guy that's highly decorated with a police uniform on. If they're aiming a gun at you and they're giving you instructions and you don't follow those instructions to the letter, you increase your chances of getting shot. Bank robber or cop, period. People just seem to think, well, I can do this or that with a cop and he has to respond in this way. There's no guarantee that he's going to do that. He or she is going to do that. So if somebody walked into a bank and told you don't move or you're going to get it, you wouldn't move. I don't know why people think they can do it on the cops. People think that the cops are all of these guys are just going to follow the law and they're going to adhere to their training. You're putting your life at risk for this shit. There's a lot of cops out there that don't even have proper training. And then, of course, there are cops that are just racist or got their own agenda, just, maybe just had to pay a ton of alimony to their wives and they're just angry fucks walking the street. Somebody aiming a gun at you and they're yelling instructions. You got to either listen to that or understand there could be dire consequences. Quit treating people with guns that wear badges different than anybody else with a gun. And that could save some of this shit. Anyway, looking in the comments, and by the way, we still have the poll going on, which is, will the Iran war be over by the end of Trump's term? A lot more. We got almost 200 respondents at this point. 34% say yes, the Iran war will be over with by the end of Trump's term. So it's still a lot of folks that do not believe that war is going to be over with. Let me go back to the box. We'll make it happen with Nate. Good evening, Nate. Help your boy with the hat and mustache. Tick-tock cap goes, if you will. Not a lot of love today. Happy Sunday to those who are. In the comments real quick, I want to make sure I respond to a couple of things. Hang on, Nate. Obama drew down more than 250,000 American troops from the Middle East during his term since didn't count. Yeah, because Obama didn't have plans on going to war with the Middle East. Trump is ramping it up because he plans on doing something. Evil says, Tim, I honestly think that Straight Talk calls him choke mouth commerce. I believe he is a slave master. Damn. He probably has some trophies in his basement. The bald-headed idiot is a bold-faced lie. No love for Straight Talk coming from Evil. Nate, good evening. What brings you to the show?
Yeah, so the other day, your boy Jeremy, the moron, he was talking about New York, of course, like always. Talking about whatever.
He don't like your mayor. He does not like your mayor.
I think he just don't like anything about New York. He was talking about Taylor Swift's wedding.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is such a moron that he said they blocked off all of Madison Square Garden.
He did say that.
Does he know Penn Station's underneath? Like the trains to all that's coming from everywhere, Boston, Jersey, it's underneath, directly underneath.
I hear Trump wants to name Penn State after him. Just Penn Station, he wants that named after him.
He's just trying to do whatever just to put his name up on everywhere. That's all that is. He was trying to do the same thing with the construction. Oh, we'll give you the money, but you gotta put my name up there. I'm not giving out the money for it.
It kind of makes you wonder if a lot of things that are already named after him didn't come by the same way. Like he got skyscrapers and stuff named after him. Is it because he was a great businessman, or did he give some money to the mayor, and maybe the mayor forced some of these people to put his name on shit to get a permit? I mean, if he's doing it as president, it makes you wonder, Has he not done that same stuff enforcing his name on shit when he was a businessman?
Of course he did. That's why he had the whole West Side with all Trump, and then when they started realizing like what he was doing, all the owners, the actual owners to the building, took his name right off because everybody thought that those are Trump's buildings. Trump owns those. No, it's just his name on it. So when they all got removed, like people started realizing like he doesn't own all these buildings. He only owns like 4 of them or something. But with the Jeremy thing, like he does know that when movies are done in New York and everything, like there's permits, and we make money off the permits for them locking off whatever. But also when she came out, like Penn Station has a block that's a half a block that leads to nowhere. It's a U-turn. That's where everybody comes in to like the musicians or basketball, whatever, and they block that off all the time. There's security 24 hours there to block that sidewalk. Yep. So when she came out and they wanted to take pictures, that's not a real block.
Oh, yeah, he made it sound like your city government via Mamdani gave some kind of special privileges to Taylor Swift getting married there at the cost of the taxpayers.
No, this is just somebody who doesn't live in New York, never been in New York, only lived in the woods that I know of, washed dishes for a living, that he's a genius, financial, whatever bullshit. Now, the other thing is, if you like, there's Google Maps, he could check Google Maps, but there's also, if you go to Trump's building on, what's that, 58th Street, Trump, where the actual Trump building that he lives upstairs, that he was trying to rape the chick upstairs, the news reporter upstairs while his wife was sleeping, like that spot. We were paying $500,000 a day.
Damn.
For his, remember she was trying to sign that prenup and he moved to DC first and she didn't want to go. She was like, no, I want Brandon to finish school here. That was all bullshit.
You talking about Melania? You're saying when because he had Stormy Daniels in the house. He wasn't trying to sexually assault Stormy Daniels.
The news reporter that shit, he was interviewing him, and it wasn't Stormy Daniels. It was the news reporter that was trying to interview him, and she was upstairs sleeping, pregnant. And she came out and said, he was trying to do this. That's when Melania would start smacking his hand and all the pictures and all that stupid stuff. So besides that, we were paying $500,000 a day because she didn't want to go to DC, but he's not concerned about that part, right? Yeah. He's not concerned how they have the whole block blocked off neither, right? Even to this day, there's one of those things that come up from the ground so cars can't go through unless they allow them to go through. Mm-hmm. That's on a public street. Nobody's paying for that. We're paying that. He's not talking about that. That's every day for the last 12 years it's been like that. But that's somebody who's not from New York.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, and I understand it though. I agree with you, but I understand Jeremy's sentiment because if you watch right-wing media, you're gonna have, particularly Chicago, New York, and LA. You're gonna hate those cities because they are a sea of liberalism, and that's all the right does is bash those three cities. Whether we're talking Gavin Newsom and homelessness and crime in LA, or we're talking crime in Chicago, or sanctuary cities, or the stuff you're talking about in New York, where once again they're going to bring up crime and the taxes, the tax code, and now you got a socialist, an openly socialist mayor. So they're going to attack those three cities all the time. So if you're Jeremy, who is a Trump voter, he has voted for Trump. Yeah, I understand why MAGA does not like those three cities, because that's all they do that's all Trump and the right does is bash those three cities constantly.
I get it, but he could also be like, hey, like me, I'm not from Chicago. I don't talk about Chicago. If I hear something, I'd be like, hey, Tim, you heard about this? What's that about? I don't talk to him and say, hey, how's the woods? Where's the berries? And stupid shit like that. I don't do that.
How's the woods?
I don't do that. He's saying, socialism and all this stupid shit. What? Trump lives in D.C., right? Right now, he lives in D.C., right? He doesn't have no reason, if he's worried about making money and not making money or whatever, and all the billionaires are leaving, he's still here. He still lives here.
Yeah.
Like, he's not running. He didn't leave. He could get a free move on our dime to move out. He's not leaving. None of these billionaires are leaving. The money's here. Nobody's leaving here.
Yeah, I said that before. Yeah, I said that before. Is that no matter what Mamdani does in New York, if a multi-billionaire or multi-millionaire does not like Mamdani's method of running that area and he moves his business out of there are plenty of folks that'll say, I can make a ton of money under these rules and we'll replace him. Let's say you're making 10 million in profit a year. Mamdani comes along and all of a sudden now you're only making 6 million because he don't impose all kinds of taxes and regulations. There's a lot of businessmen that'll be happy making 6 million. So you can move and go somewhere so you can still make 10, but it ain't like people are going to ignore the possibility of making 6. So it ain't like New York's going to be empty because Mamdani showed up.
So the other thing with Mamdani, like, he's going to hate this one too, I guess. So he put in new rules. So, like, say you're a barber, right? You're a licensed barber.
Mm-hmm.
For you to open up a shop, you need another. So a licensed barber, you need certifications and stuff like that to do that. But then you have to pay taxes and everything else. If you want to open up you have to get if you want to open up a barber shop, then you have to go pay another bill to get a certification to own the business, and then you have to get another it's like another certificate to actually be a corporation in New York. He's cutting those other two out. If you're a barber and you got so many years, you can open up a shop. You don't need all these other ones. Like, you shouldn't be paying all these other ones just to open up a shop.
So he's actually making it easier for small business and maybe taxing big business more.
Well, I haven't heard nothing about the big business. The only thing I heard was that he was hitting the rich people, that if this is your second home over here and you're using it as a tax break, we're going to tax you more money. But say you own a restaurant. To have ice cream in your restaurant, you need another certification. He's taking that away. If you cooking and you got food here and everything and you're making a meal, like, and you don't need that second one. So he's making it cheaper for all the businesses. All these, like, you need like 3 or 4 certificates just to open up something. Like, he's knocking all that off.
That was actually bad business to begin with. It's crazy that they even had that to begin with.
But he's clearing
he's making it better, but it's crazy that was even. I mean, why the hell would you have to have a special certificate for ice cream? I mean, I know it has to be managed and stored differently, maybe than other foodstuffs, but yeah, I mean that shouldn't have been.
He's just combining it all in one thing. If you have a restaurant, then you should know that this has to be a different cooler or whatever. But that's helping the businesses. You know what I'm saying? I guess Walmart hates him because he's opening up those supermarkets that they're not working for a profit. The supermarket's not going to be working for a profit.
Well, here's the problem with that, though. Folks see that as the government trying to take over businesses.
It's not taking over a business. It's the same thing as Walmart. Walmart opens up, they put a big super Walmart in the middle. Some businesses go under or whatever. Nobody cries about Walmart.
Why would you want to? What good would a supermarket? What good would a supermarket be if there's not making a profit? Explain that.
To lower the cost of the prices on food and everything. Like the workers will get $30 an hour working in the supermarket, but your price, because there's no we need to advertise this, we need to make a certain amount of revenue. Like, we get it for $2.99 and we're gonna give it to you for $2.99. We're not trying to make a margin to pay.
So the government, who owns the supermarket?
The state.
But that's what people are complaining about, Nate. If I got my own Ralph's or Kroger's or some supermarket, how the hell can I, as a business owner, compete with a company that ain't trying to make no profit at all?
It's a supermarket. Plus,
that ain't answer the question though. I'm running a supermarket. I'm running a supermarket where I want to make profit to feed my family, and the government opens up one where they're not focused on profit at all. How is that not going to put me out of business?
Because
It'll expand though.
Hold on. Look. I want to show you. Walmart's not in New York City. It's in Long Island. Nobody's traveling from Manhattan to go to Long Island to go food shopping. Nobody's doing that.
So you're telling me these businesses that the government opens that is not seeking a profit at all will not be a threat or competition to any profitable business out there?
Yeah, for the ones that's next to it, just like Walmart. You have to complain about Walmart as the same thing then. I don't hear people complaining about Walmart if a Walmart opens up.
Well, you got a legitimate complaint on Walmart.
Walmart gets grants from the federal government. They're getting money from us already. We're putting the money to us. They're getting profits off of it. They're making a margin off of it. They want to keep making a margin. So if their prices go down, or if they're not making enough money, they fire people. They do all that. That's not going to happen with this because there's no margin to make. They just want to break even. It helps the less, and then you got to remember where they put in it. They put it in where the 116 is basically all projects, low income. People are not coming from the Bronx. Nobody's going to say, hey, let's make a day out of this. Everybody get in the car. We're all going to go down to from the Bronx to Manhattan and go food shopping and drag all that all the way back to
I don't get it. I've been defending Mom Donnie until you said something like this. I cannot imagine if the state is opening up businesses and they don't intend to make a profit. The idea that that's not going to hurt other actual capitalism for-profit businesses. You're hurting businesses by doing that. I mean, if I own my own business, people can file bankruptcy so they don't have to pay me. You can't file bankruptcy against the government. So if you owe the government money, they'll chase you for their money for 20 years. So there's all kinds of benefits to owning a state-owned business that me as a for-profit cannot compete with. Not to mention, you ain't even trying to make a profit. So there's no way I could open up a business anywhere near it. It kind of just eliminates any competition with you because I can't compete with you.
Yes, a supermarket or basically a supermarket. Yeah, you can't open up another supermarket next to it.
That's terrible.
But you can move one to the Bronx.
That ain't how it's supposed to be though. Because the places you saying I can move one to, what happens if their local government starts saying they want these state-owned businesses too? Before you know it, you're hurting capitalists from opening up businesses.
Well, you're trying to solve a problem
by creating a new one.
Yeah, but that's what happens everywhere. Whenever you try to solve something, something's gonna get hurt out of it. That's just what's gonna happen.
This makes me understand where the folks on the right are complaining about this, though. I other than this, I thought a lot of the stuff against Mom Donnie was bullshit. This I can see where it could become a real problem. If it don't, now some folks in the comments are saying it's only happening in food deserts. As I stated, if it's happening somewhere where there's no supermarket at all, that's one thing. But the people of other areas that are low income, they're going to eventually see what he's doing in these food deserts areas and say, well, why don't you open up one over here? Because Walmart ain't treating us right, or Kroger's is not doing right by us, or we don't like Ralph's. And now all of a sudden you're starting to compete with actual businesses. And now you're starting to have what could be a state-run, economy or something like that. This is what the right is complaining about.
So just let everybody just buy a $12 of cereal, right? People are spending $12 at the cereal spot, right? So are we here to help the businesses, or are we here to help the people to live on with expenses?
Well, then I have to ask, why are there only businesses that sell, as you say, $12 shit there? I mean, why aren't there other businesses?
No, I'm saying cereal, $12 cereal.
Yeah.
Cereal costs $12, not 99 cent store or something like that. I'm talking about the cereal's $12.
Because they're trying to make a profit. If you're not trying to make a profit, look, imagine how much you'd pay for your car if nobody involved, if you're only paying manufacturer creator costs, or what they call it, MSRP, manufacturer retail cost. If the dealership wasn't trying to profit, nobody was trying, everything would be cheaper like that. But that's not capitalism at that point.
Okay.
That's why you're not paying $12 a box for cereal at the government store because they're going to charge you exactly what it costs to produce the item. But I mean, that kind of starts getting rid of capitalism. And when you have the government running the places, that place is only as efficient and successful as the government politicians you have. Would you want Trump running that store? I mean, right now, Mamdani's a cool dude. We like Mamdani, but do you want a Trump to come along and run it? I mean, because he's government too. Eventually, you're going to have a government official that may be like him or like your last mayor that was so corrupt he fled the country and left to move to another nation. So it's only as efficient as who is currently running the government.
Yeah, and then you have other options. You're saying it as everybody shuts down. Not everyone shuts down. You have the right to choose to go to that store. You could just say, hey, that store is right there, but I still don't want to go there and pick another store. There's stores everywhere. There's bodegas, 24-hour bodegas. There's the liquor store. You can go anywhere you want. People don't go to Walmart because, hey, Walmart's like a half an hour drive. Let me take that ride. I could go to this guy right here.
What you're saying, I got to move it on for time, but I'll just say this. What you're saying works if they don't expand this shit. If they don't start creating state-owned bodegas and all these other things you're talking about, you can have a choice. You can go here and there. If they expand these things, everywhere you have a choice to go, they open up one that's similar to that, they will start closing all those places down because all of them places are operating on profit. If all of a sudden you start putting stuff that would be the end of capitalism in your area, or certainly weakening it.
But that's you throwing up the if. We're not talking about the if. We're talking about so far. There's only 3. It's not even going to be made for like 4 years, and it's 1 per borough. So you're saying if Trump just says, fuck it, I'm going to the fucking, and take all the gold from the fucking Fort Knox, we'd be all broke. He could do that too. That's all if. I'm not talking about the if. I'm saying he's putting in low-income places because people are struggling to make ends meet, and he's paying the workers $30 an hour, which is more than Jeremy gets to wash dishes. So, like, I don't see what's going on right now. That's bad.
I guess to some degree, I would have rather the government subsidize some for-profit owner. I don't know. I just don't like the fact that the government is completely controlling the grocery store. I mean, government can fail too. I like Mamdani's attitude, but like I said, there's going to come a time when somebody else is running that store that's not Mamdani, and they may start doing shit for profit and doing underhand and stuff. Like I said, you don't want Trump running that store. You're okay with the government holding over stores when it's Mamdani, but you could get a guy like Trump that comes in there that's trying to find ways to eke out profits for himself. So
yeah, but I still don't have to go to that store. See what I'm saying? I don't have to go to that store. You're making it sound like
assuming he hasn't gotten rid. Well, but if you allow the state to create grocery stores, like I said, if you get a Trump, he's going to expand it. It's going to be those stores everywhere. I mean, so he's going to get rid of all of the other choices you're talking about you can make, because Trump is all about himself. So it ain't going to be just 3 stores. It's going to be 50 of them.
Oh, okay.
And then you got a problem on your hands.
I guess so.
All right. Well,
that's the if.
It's good right now. I'll agree with you. Right now, it looks good. I'll just say it like that. Nate, I appreciate you coming through as always. Thank you.
All
right. And look, I've been critical of those that have been, chastising Mamdani from day one. I like a lot of the stuff that he's talking about doing, because I do believe folks are struggling in this country and we need some answers. I don't think just keep riding with capitalism is going to help people out. I don't think saying, well, I shouldn't force a business to have a minimum wage increase. I shouldn't force health care, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I don't think that's helping anything out. So he came with different ideas. So let's see if those ideas work, but you can go too far in either direction. Let's just hope it doesn't go that way. In the comments, Tim got to find a way to take up for the white man. You think it ain't? You think what we're talking about here wouldn't hurt any African American or Hispanic business owner? It would only hurt white businesses. If they plop up and put a government-owned business next door to yours where the government's business was not trying to make a profit, you don't think there are small corner stores and shit owned by black people? I mean, no, it ain't got nothing to do with the white man in this case. This is something that could hurt any for-profit business. I think what has happened is capitalism has gotten out of fucking control in this country to the point where they're doing more than making a profit. They are literally battering and beating people down into poverty. And so Mamdani's the answer to that. Mamdani right now is the answer to that. I think that the best way to get rid of talk of socialism is to rein in capitalism. We have removed way too many regulations and given capitalists far too many freedoms to the point where it's starting to hurt the average man. I don't think most Americans would be championing capitalism or maybe it's socialism if capitalism wasn't hurting them so bad. People are not doing very well under the capitalist system. And the response to people who are begging for help is pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I found a way, you need to figure it out. People are struggling and telling them figure it out is not enough for them. Well, go get a third job then. People are tired of that shit. So here comes a guy with a different system where he paints a picture that under this system, you'll be doing better than you are under this capitalism they're bragging about. And you can't fault people for going with it. I would, listen, if it came in my area, I would probably be a big Mamdani supporter as well. I do believe we've let capitalists run amok to the point where I don't even want them to give you I don't want to even prevent them from giving you substandard wages. The minimum wage is the same for 20 years. There's no reason for that in many states where the minimum wage has not increased for 20 straight years. And folks are still fighting to not increase it now. There's no excuse for that. If you don't want Mamdani, you can't be siding with that type of shit. In the comments, though, under capitalism, those at the top are rigging the system to change the laws and rules to favor them at the expense of those at the bottom. I should have just read that. That is the perfect response to that. That's exactly what's happening. I should have just read that comment. Thank you. In the comments, we need to stop thinking we're going to have one or the other. We already have socialism and capitalism here. Solution is capitalism for what we want and socialism for what we need. I like that. And I think that we have been constantly removing the socialistic protections so that capitalism, we're getting more toward the capitalist scale. And I always say this, I don't think anyone would want unrestricted capitalism. You need socialist tenets to make our system fair. I mean, do you want to dial 911 and have the police charge you? They could itemize everything they do for you. I showed up at your house. We spent 3 gallons of gas to come here. We marked that up 10%. You had a criminal on site. We ended up having to take his life. We fired 30 rounds, approximately 30 rounds. We charged this much per round. 2 of our officers performed CPR. We charge a premium for, I mean, they can charge you for all of that shit. That's capitalism. The fact that they don't, that's socialism. I mean, they could charge you for all of that stuff. Public school could be cost. They could charge you for that. So the more you remove stuff, the worse it gets. Looking in the comments, tap the screen, get the lights on up. We'll go to Fat Sandwich. By the way, help me where the hat mustache TikTok cap goes. Haven't seen that in forever. Show the program some love. Fat Sandwich, if we can bring them up. In the comments here, city-owned grocery stores failed here in Kansas City, says Twisted Anvil. I'd be curious to know how reasonably priced the ones you do have are, though. You heard my caller say that they're putting state-owned grocery stores in New York because they were paying $12 for a box of cereal. So the for-profit stores were getting ridiculous. Keep in mind, a lot of prices that skyrocketed after COVID did not come down after COVID. So there is some price gouging and shit going on like that. That stuff is happening. You heard him say they're operating where they're not operating for a profit and they're paying the employee $30 an hour. So chances are the grocery stores that were for profit were charging $12 for a box of cereal, and they probably were not paying $30 an hour to their employees. But the owner of the grocery store was making a ton of money. You get rid of the top half of most businesses, and there's a lot of money to go around. I mean, usually the people at the top of the business, only a couple of them are making as much as potentially hundreds of people at the bottom. Don't buy the cereal. Well, everything in the store, I'm assuming, if you're saying $12 for a box of cereal, I'm sure the milk, all of that shit. Everything in there was probably marked up. It ain't just the cereal. In the comments, do you talk about the 7 Save-A-Lot stores that closed yesterday in Chicago? No, because I wasn't aware of it. No, I was not aware that 7 Save-A-Lot stores closed in Chicago, and I don't know why. Was it competition? Theft does cause stores to close. Or, you open up a store in the wrong neighborhood and people are robbing you blind. Where every time you do inventory, you notice all sorts of products are no longer part of your inventory, and there's no cash to represent their absence. So, because I've lived in neighborhoods where like Walgreens and stuff moved out because they were getting robbed. I mean, so there could be a host of reasons. Could be a host of reasons why that's happening. In the comments here, tap the screen. Democrats are pro-theft. That makes no sense at all. Show me a policy that suggests the Democrats are pro-theft. State-owned residential buildings for low-income people, it doesn't stop others from renting out their building. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, you got to be careful when you go too far with what the state can own, though, because you are, as a regular business owner, you are not going to be able to compete with a state-owned business. Because if they're not seeking profit and you are, then you got to add the profit you are trying to make to everything you're doing, whatever good or service you're selling. If they're not seeking to make a profit, then they can sell shit cheaper because they don't add that profitable desire in there. So yeah, it's a delicate mix. I don't know how far you can go with the state-owned stuff. Democrats have weak on crime policies. That's an opinion, because I don't know any Democrat state that don't have a completely filled up prison system. It ain't like if you leave Wyoming and you go over to Minnesota, all of a sudden the prisons are empty. There's plenty of people getting locked up in Democrat areas, so I don't know what you mean by weak on crime policies. No, they don't go around and execute every fucking body like you guys like to, but they're locking up people. So I think the Democrats come across as looking weak on crime is because you only focus on Democrats. Like a perfect example, look at all of the January 6th criminals. I'm not talking about the ones that were on the lawn or didn't go to the Capitol building. I'm talking about the ones who actually were on video committing crimes. Look at all the January 6th criminals that President Trump pardoned that went on to commit additional crimes. You don't hear the right covering that at all. At all. But if an immigrant commits a crime, gets let out of custody and commits another crime, it's all over right-wing media. Several of those pardonees from January 6th have went on to commit, in some cases, some pretty major felonies. You don't hear any mention of that on the right at all. They just keep going back, well, Democrats are soft on crime. What about your president? He was soft on crime. I mean, that's in addition to all the other criminals he's been pardoning too that is not being discussed as well. So, no, I don't think it's just the Democrats. At what point is it okay to just be okay with theft, but then be hypocritical and say lock up the bank? Huh? I don't know anybody that's okay with theft, Sean. I don't know anybody that's okay, as you say, okay with theft. In the comments, Democrat riots not pursued for their crimes. There are more Democrats. All of those BLM riots, there are more Democrats that have been punished than there are more Democrat riots. There were more BLM riots than the few riots under the Republicans. They only had January 6th, Charlottesville. I guess you could. I don't think even surrounding the Michigan State Building was not a riot, but there's been more BLM riots than there have been riots for right-wing shit. But the folks on the right, once Trump pardoned them, none of them have paid a price. I mean, Trump, not only did he pardon me, he wanted to give them money. Ain't nobody from BLM received a bunch of money from the president. So yeah, I don't understand that one. You can speak on that one in a different way. I haven't seen any of your super chats, Tanaj, and I'm looking. I see you said you paid. I don't. When did you do that? I'm scrolling back. I don't see any of those because it would change my screen colors if you did. Yeah, I don't know where, but you said ask companies what companies. Wait a minute. Ask Alexa what companies or corporations have the most of its employees on taxpayer government assistance and welfare. Walmart is one of the biggest ones. Walmart actually not only did they have employees receiving government assistance, they had the method of contacting them to receive food stamps at the time and EBT cards. It was in the break room. It was on a wall. Walmart actually was telling their employees how to reach out to the government to get entitlements and shit like that because they were paying them so low. It used to be on a wall in the break room. That was a well-known fact. So to me, Walmart has been pretty harmful in our capitalistic society. Let me go back to the box. They should be in jail. Yikes. Tim, keeping the conversation real. Thank you, Mountain Man. MAGA Reacts, good evening.
I'm good, man. That last caller, I wanted to come up so bad, but I was fucking doing some shit. Alright, the problem with those stores, the Mamdani store, isn't that they're gonna run for no profit. That's fine. It's when they start to lose money. When they start to lose money, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you think they're gonna go out of business?
Why would they lose money?
Because they're paying their employees $30 an hour, $30 an hour. They're selling cereal for like $5 or below cost.
Well, I'm assuming they did the math to know how much product you're going to sell, how much you can charge. I mean, I'm going to assume they did the math. So what
if product expires? What if it goes bad? What if let's say they do a bad job and the store starts to lose money. What's going to happen to that store?
Well,
is it going to go out of business like a Walmart would? If a Walmart loses money, it's going to go out of business, right?
Yeah.
If that store loses money, what do you think is going to happen?
They're going to raise the taxpayer money to make it up, like the post office.
Yeah, taxes are going to pay for it. So basically, that store can never go out of business. It could do, not only can it sell shit under cost and just take the money out of taxes, putting other businesses out of business. Now your taxes are paying for that store that you're probably not even using. So like when that guy said, oh, I'll just go to another store. Yeah, but your taxes that you're paying is paying for that store. So even if you don't go to the store, the government is making you pay for it, even though you're not taking a single thing out of it.
Here's my problem with it, though. Here's my problem with it, though. I would be more willing to entertain your argument if a lot of our for-profit businesses weren't taking our tax money as well. Like Walmart can offer to open up a business in an area and demand that the city charge them no property taxes as a benefit for them. I mean, they just like a lot of stadiums, a lot of professional sports stadiums would tell the city, we'll move our team to your area if you build us a stadium and charge us no taxes for 20 years. So the point is, our tax money is going to these.
Yeah, but the city can say fuck you.
But they don't. But they don't is the problem. A lot of us, we're paying for businesses anyway.
Because they think the benefits outweigh the whatever they're paying. That's a different argument.
No, I don't. Well, it's not a different argument.
Say those government stores wanted to do the same thing. Guess what? The government's going to do what the stores want because it's their stores. Where you could say fuck you to Walmart, you can't say fuck you to the government because they'll put you in fucking jail. And that's the problem with socialism. It's ran by government, and eventually, if you don't like what they're doing, and you can't get them, you can't vote them out or get rid of them, they're gonna put you in jail for not fucking.
Somebody send me.
For not doing. Yeah, I don't. Taxes or for whatever.
Yeah, and thank you whoever just sent me that on Clapper. I didn't see your name, but I appreciate that Volkswagen Buggy. I will say I agree with you that there are pitfalls to going too far in socialism. But the problem is, I'm going to tell you, MAGA, the problem is your side.
This is basic socialism.
I'm not arguing. Hold on, I'm not arguing. Your point is not lost on me. But what I'm saying is, your side of the aisle is what's perpetuating this. You guys are fighting against improving the capitalistic system to help people. You guys believe in pull yourself up by your bootstraps. If somebody is struggling, telling them to figure it out, you're not doing shit for them. That's why they're going in these other directions.
No, but that's not quite capitalism. Like, capitalism, as far as I'm concerned, it's just the private sector, regular people running shit versus the government running shit. So
that ain't what I said, though.
Bigger, I think socialism. I think we're more socialist than we've ever been. And that's the problem, not the fact that we're more capitalistic than we've ever been.
And see,
we're definitely more socialist than we've ever been.
And I vehemently disagree with that, because in America, as a business owner, back in the 50s and 60s, you used to pay a much higher tax rate than you do now. As a wealthy person, you used to have to pay a much higher tax rate than you do now. We've made it so a lot easier for wealthy people. Not to mention, back in the 50s and 60s, you didn't have access to Chinese labor to lay off Americans and shit. We've made it a lot easier for people at the top. They didn't used to have it this easy. There were far more unions. There were far more unions. The healthcare we gave employees was better. Minimum wage actually moved. It was much better.
Listen, your last caller again gave us examples, and all the way we made it harder. Like, if you need a fucking license to sell ice cream, probably a license.
It's
licenses to become a barber.
Yeah, you can pick out little pieces.
Fucking capitalism.
You can pick out little pieces, but overall, it was better for working Americans in that era than it is now. It's gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better. You can point to a few areas, but it has gotten. And by the way, that individual would love to speak with you if I can find his request. Put in your request, Nate. The guy you're challenging wants to come up. But to me, you were much better off as a working American back then, because the protections, the union, the minimum wage increase, healthcare was better. It was a better environment than it is now.
Or it's because government didn't have its fingers in all this shit. Government didn't run healthcare. Government didn't fucking do all the shit it's doing now. Yeah. All these safety nets and all this fucking shit paid by the government and ran by the government is getting fucked up by the government. And say you like Democrats. Say you love, you actually repeated that point. I was so happy when you repeated that point. Say you love what the Democrats are doing. What about when the Republicans take over and fuck it up? Then that same grocery store or the same healthcare is going to go to shit.
Tell me how you get locked up for not shopping at that store. What are you talking about?
Okay, because if that store starts losing money, your taxes are going to start paying for it. And if you decide, like, I don't want to pay these taxes that's going to this fucking store I don't use, and you don't pay your taxes, what's going to happen when you don't pay your taxes? You're going to go to
people don't pay their taxes without the supermarket being there. What are you talking about?
Okay, and if they get caught, they're going to go to jail. Tax evasion is a fucking huge crime.
What are you talking about?
Paid taxes for like 10 years. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay. Basically, if we start doing shit like what you're saying, your taxes are gonna, first of all, gonna go higher. They're gonna get more expensive.
But you don't have to worry.
And they're gonna be more people not paying their taxes.
You have a whole different system. You have a whole different debt. We don't have debt. We're clear right now. So you have a whole different system in Florida. I don't understand. I can't explain what happens in Florida. I don't know what goes on in Florida. Why
we have a lot less taxes. That's why cereal isn't $12 a box. Because we don't have
that's because people are greedy. People are greedy.
You're not making $30 an hour either.
And the money went up.
Listen,
so
if someone can get that cereal cheaper, they'll get it and sell it next door and fucking steal that guy's customers.
And the government was giving out all that money, and everybody just had a whole stack of money just coming in every week was like $600. Everybody was buying everything. Yeah, I don't care. How much is it? Whatever. Here, just take that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what made
money's
more
not
expensive.
coming back. Now that the money's not there no more, now they kept the price at the same amount. So how about this?
Handsome conservative, I saw that. Thank you.
How about this? Hold on.
You just made my point. When you give out a bunch of money, you make things more expensive.
Say the supermarket goes, right? And say it takes the way you want to say it. It goes out of business. We say, hey, fine, we don't want it. It's not working. Get rid of it, right? But did it lower everybody else's prices around it? Would it lower everybody else's prices back down to where it was at? They'll still make a profit because they make it.
I know that store, if it's not ran perfect, which I don't trust the government to run it perfect.
You just don't. You're just saying that, but you trust the government to check your house before you buy it. You trust the government to go into that elevator before you go up in the elevator. You trust the government to fix the roads when you're driving it. You trust the government for a lot of things, but until you want to make a point out of it.
That's a good point. He's
You're always
making.
trusting the
That's more
government on
instructions than running the fucking business.
That's a really. Hold on, hang on a second.
You trust it that it's not going to land in Florida.
That's a really good point he's making, MAGA. Is that we talk about how you can't trust. Hold on. Hold on, MAGA. Hold on. We talk about how you can't trust the government. They never do anything right, but he is right. We trust the government to do things that our lives depend on. Like you said, the bridge you're driving under the highway, you're trusting that the government made that safe. Why is it that they can't run a grocery store?
You're trusting that Trump is doing a good job with the war. You're trusting a lot of shit.
Let me correct something. I didn't say that I don't. What I was trying to say is they're not going to always do a good job. Say I trust Trump. When Biden's in charge or Democrats in charge, they're probably going to fuck it up. Or the other way around. Say you trust the Democrats. When the Republicans in charge are going to fuck it up. I'm not saying whether you should trust or don't trust the government. I'm saying eventually someone's going to get that job and they're going to fuck it up because they're getting hired based on their politics. So maybe you'll get lucky and Mamdani will do a good job, but that's not guaranteed that the next person's going to do a good job. Eventually, someone's going to get in there and fuck it up. And one more point, like, say they pay their employees $30 an hour, then guess what? That bodega down the street is going to lose his employee because they can't fucking pay that employee $30 an hour.
Everywhere they go.
What do you mean? They pay employees more and steal them?
Walmart would go to area and kill all the businesses around it, but you don't say shit about that. And we give them money
No, we
to
can
say,
pay
hey,
about that all the
Walmart there. Here's how much you need. Here you go. Oh, you can't pay you're not going to pay your employees a good wage. If they make more than 40 hours, we'll give them 39 so they can't collect or nothing. Don't worry, we'll put it in the lunchroom while you eating you eating that chicken noodle soup that you ate from that cup of noodles. Like, look, if you get this, then you can live a little bit better while you're working.
He hitting home runs, MAGA. He is right. We're talking about the dangers of a. Wait, hold on. He's talking. You're talking about the dangers of a state-owned business. Hold on. You're talking about the dangers of a state-owned business, but he is right. Walmart is 100% capitalistic, and it has hurt businesses all over the place. Shut things down, reduce employees' salary. It's done all of the shit that you're saying is a socialistic state-owned business might do.
But they also made things cheaper for people to buy.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point.
Okay, but the second they stop doing that,
fuck the businesses. It makes it cheaper for people. 100%. You're absolutely right.
And then when you fail, your taxes are not going to
Walmart even takes cars to. They'll do your oil change. They're killing everybody around them.
And paying them less to do it.
Go to Walmart and get a Starbucks. You could get a McDonald's.
Look at Amazon fucked over. Amazon's even worse, but that's not the point. The point is,
that is the point.
As long as they're still making profit, it's fine. If they start losing money, my taxes is not going to pay for their fucking losses.
MAGA, I was seeing the issues.
They're going to go out of business if they start doing a bad job. If they start losing profit and they're not paying the cost of their goods, they're going to go out of business. But that government store, if it starts
going out of the business, they'll fire a whole bunch of people and keep it running. They already killed
but eventually they'll go out of business. You know,
they'll just say, hey, instead of having 50,000
appreciate that, handsome conservative.
We'll just put it at 30,000. We'll make them work harder and then cut their medical, and we'll cut our employee shit because Walmart, the Walmart owners don't take a fucking loss.
MAGA.
The people who are CEOs and they don't take losses. They just get bigger bonuses.
You need to be a spokesperson. Hold on. Let me just say this. He needs to be. I'll say this. Nate needs to be a spokesperson for anybody that's chastising Mamdani. He running all over you with this shit because he's even running over thoughts that I had. Like the way he is saying it, I can't do nothing but hand him the victory. I mean, he's making some good points, MAGA. He is making some really good points.
Walmart's able to do everything by bringing you shit, still at a profit, but lower cost.
Walmart's able to do that store financially give them money.
How
they
do
get
you
the money
give them
before they even open up the business. They get money from the state. That's how Walmart gets to it.
Well, that's on the state then. The same idiots
that
gave Walmart that money, you want them to run the whole store?
What's the difference? Because you could point at the owner and you can't point at the owner.
It can go out of business. That is the difference. It could go out of business
it. It's not the only
It's a
one.
supermarket
If that goes
that's
down,
owned by the
nobody
city
eats
of New
it.
York.
That doesn't
I'm
happen
from the city of New York and I
There's
go
a
out of
99
business.
cent
New York,
store
I'm
down the
not gonna go
block.
out of business.
There's a $5 bodega down the block. There's always something around.
2 minutes.
The only
The
thing
city of New York is
2
not gonna go
minutes.
out of business. They're just going to charge you more taxes.
I don't know. Come visit New York and
And
figure it
that's
out.
it.
Come to New York and figure it out.
That's the problem. It had nothing to do with New York.
It is, because if you don't understand where New York is and what the area looks like and what's around the area where they're putting there, like, yes, you don't know. You don't know. So you're just saying shit because you think and you feel like something, but you know nothing. That's the thing.
Look,
the
if they're
maqueta, where they
pay
gonna
people
put it at,
$30
was
an hour,
already there
they're going to steal
before.
the employees
There was a
of
store
the other
there already
bodegas. Like,
that was for low class people, low income people that they were selling fruits for cheap and everything else like that. There's people who have box trucks that park on the street with their little stand and they sell apples and everything else. They're selling it cheaper than the supermarket. The supermarket still sells apples. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. It's choosing where you want to go.
if the supermarket opens up and they do everything and they actually don't cost the city any money, that's great and good. But
That's the point.
eventually
so
they're
just
gonna
like
fuck
you're
up.
saying, it'll be good and everything. You don't know the neighborhood, so you don't know.
This could be in any neighborhood. Anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world.
It's not.
We've tried this all over the world.
We generate a lot of money. You can't do that in fucking Ohio.
The only way those stores can stay alive is by taking taxes. Okay? So the only way they stay alive by capitalism paying for it, by charging them.
Stadiums or your baseball stadiums.
They make money. They make money.
Not all of them.
They make money and they bring in.
Not all of them.
The government makes that deal with them.
Your Trump
Even
building
Walmart,
didn't get money
when
from the
they get
government.
these benefits-
When his daughter bought that building in fucking DC, she got a tax cut and everything from them.
Okay, because DC felt that it was going to help DC in a way, and if they didn't, then they should be
helped
fucking
DC,
fired or put in jail for it.
But it helped. So you're saying because it helped DC, right? Not the people, right?
It helped both. Well, DC is the people. I mean,
So how many
you're
people
kind of making
stood
my
there?
point
How
because
many
all this
people
shit
stood in
you're
her
complaining
building?
about is just more
How many
socialism.
people
It's
in
more the
DC
fucking government.
said, hey, we're gonna travel down the block and stay in her whole hotel.
What?
That only helps the people who are trying to visit. This is actually helping people.
No, who do you think works at those hotels?
I gotta move it on, gentlemen.
Who works at those hotels? Who's gonna sell food and laundry service to those hotels?
All right.
The visitors bring in the money,
And they-
but the people who work at the hotel are the ones being helped. The employees is who's being helped, not the fucking customers.
I gotta move it on, but Nate, I'll just tell you, I'm glad you didn't push back like this against me, because goddamn, you made a point like a motherfucker. Nate, go ahead, last word.
Nah, go ahead. Let them eat that.
All right,
Look,
Nate, real quick, MAGA.
All the shit you're complaining about is socialism. When fucking the government gives Walmart money to do something, that's socialism.
And
So,
nobody,
the fact
and your
that
side
you're
don't,
complaining
your
about the
side isn't
socialist
complaining about
the
that.
fucking capitalistic system.
Yeah, but your side isn't complaining
What's
about
up?
it like that.
Because in the end, it's gonna help people more. Because I trust Walmart to stay in business by fucking. I trust Walmart working for profit will keep it in business and keep the employees employed. I don't trust that grocery store.
I look at Walmart's
And
history
not go
of
at, like,
I
not
look
cost-
at Walmart's history of worker abuses, anti-unionization, and all that shit, and I ask you, why the hell do you trust Walmart more? Walmart does what you're concerned big business might or big government might do. Walmart has actually done that shit.
Because everybody could boycott Walmart tomorrow, and Walmart will go out of business. If their abuse is more than their benefit, if all the shit they're doing wrong is more than their benefit, we could all stop going there tomorrow, and they'll go out of business. Now, you think the city of New York is going to go out of business?
Well,
if they start
but you
abusing
can
their
vote in. You
customers
can
and
vote
fucking
in
doing all
another.
that shit?
You can vote in a politician that says he's going to close up the state-owned stores. If you don't like them, then vote Mom Donnie out and get in a politician that does the opposite. So you can close those. Like he
win an election.
Like he pointed out, like he rightfully pointed out, government-owned entities, like he said libraries and stuff. Government-owned places do go out of business too. It ain't like it's impossible for a government-owned entity. Look how many government places Trump has put out of business. So the idea that government business will never close.
I mean, was Doge successful or was Doge a failure?
You made it sound like it doesn't matter if it succeeds or not. It ain't gonna ever go out of business. I'm saying that Trump proved that government places can be shut down too.
No, we tried to shut them down, and you fucking attacked everything about that. I mean, just a fucking hour ago, Michael was bitching about all the people that got fired when we tried to shut down.
That's a different conversation. I gotta move it on. That's a different conversation.
Yeah, you see how politically it sucks to politically shut down shit. So when someone goes to like, hey, this grocery store is costing you tax money, it's going to be very hard to politically win that election and close that store down.
It's hard to pay $12 for a box of cereal too. So something difficult has got to be done. I gotta go.
The store's only going to make things more expensive.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens because he's in there doing it now. Tap the screen. I will say this. When I talked to Nate, as you guys witnessed, before my caller Maggie Reacts came on, and I was pushing back against Nate because I was on Mom Donnie's team until he started talking about state-owned stores, which I didn't favor. But after hearing him orate his point with Maggie Reacts, it was pushing. I'm back on my now. Nate did a really good job. That comeback was awesome. I'm gonna say that. Hopefully I can get some clips and hear that again. I'm gonna go back and listen to that. But the way he orated that, man, that was really good. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 80,000. So why are you trying to? What does it say? So why are you trying to shutting down government stores? Well, the belief is that the government is going to get out of control. As Maggie Reacts was saying, is if the government stops making a profit, they're going to keep the store open anyway and just keep charging taxpayer money to fund, basically throwing money down the drain. That's what he is saying. I'm going to kind of cite what Nate was trying to say, is that we do that stuff with private businesses too. There are plenty of private businesses that we use our taxpayer money to keep assisting them with a business that's not very profitable. So I don't know why all of a sudden, if they want to do it from the state level, it's so much different. That's most of the stuff that we're fearing that state-owned businesses like Mom Donnie is doing could cause. There are plenty of private-owned businesses in the capitalistic system that are already doing that stuff. And Nate did a really good job pointing that out because that was something I was not even thinking about at first. So, I mean, that was a good conversation. I enjoy those types. Looking in the comments, rather. Thank you for that membership, Angela Jackson. MAGA is fine with stealing or a man is draining them. Because somebody was talking about the liberals are okay with theft. I gotta kind of side with that because to me, Trump is getting way more money than he should be. Look, if you don't see anything, look, he didn't take a salary. He's a successful business owner. There's nothing wrong with him earning $2.2 billion in 1 year. The guy's like 80 years old. He's been we can say successful if you want to use that term. He's been a businessman at the highest level most of his adult life. And he makes more money in one single year as president than probably almost all of the other ones combined. And you're supposed to say there's nothing suspicious about that at all. He's just really good at business. That shit is corrupt as hell, in my opinion. That shit is corrupt as hell. There's no way in hell. We can see that it looks funny that Biden gets more votes than Obama. There's no way that should happen. That looks suspicious. This guy makes $2.2 billion in a single year and nothing looks suspicious about that at all, huh? Even many of the most successful businessmen on the planet don't make $1 billion in a single year. This guy made over $2 billion. You'd be hard pressed to find, other than your Bransons, your Elon Musk, or Jeff Bezos types, even the most successful businessmen do not make that kind of money in 1 year. He wasn't coming close to making that kind of money as a citizen business guy. Wasn't coming close to doing that. So yeah, he is profiting off the presidency, and it ain't all legal in my opinion. I don't. This all this notion that where he's got private investors rather running his money, or in a private trust is what they're saying. So all of a sudden you've been managing your own business all your life, and the year you hand it over to a private trust, they just make you a windfall. And none of that looks suspicious, huh? Just the votes that Biden got more votes than Obama. That looks suspicious. Look, I don't know. I can't run with all of that. In the comments, Jay Sid says, if your MAGAs can't pay for their own dialysis, then they're hypocrites. That means they got a few mil laying around at all times, and that ain't gonna happen. That ain't going. I actually do think you need socialist tenants in the capitalistic system. And as I was saying, the problem is we have been removing too many of them as time has gone on. And it's gotten to the point where it's just not fair for the average working man. Everybody that gets entitlements is not sitting on their ass all day waiting for a welfare check to come. There are plenty of people with 1, 2 jobs and they still don't qualify. They still qualify to get food stamps and rental assistance because their income is so low. And the right is saying, if you're not making enough money, go back to school and get a trade or get a second job, or at the end of the day, figure it out. But in terms of my tax money, don't ask me for shit. I figured it out. You need to figure it out. And if somebody is desperate and struggling, that's not an answer they're going to live with. So when you wonder why people are going towards Mamdani when you really believe capitalism is better, it's because the capitalists are pretty much telling them to fuck off when they say they're hurting. Mamdani is offering a handout. He's offering a leg up. He's offering some kind of solution that may be beneficial to them, that fuck off is not doing anything for them. God, look, I've been working, and all I asked you to do, could you at least fight for me a minimum wage increase? You won't even do that. You won't even fight for me to be able to unionize or fight for them to give me better health care. You're doing nothing for me at all. Mamdani is promising this or this or this. So he looks better. Even if you think where he is heading may be the wrong path, it looks better in the interim. Thank you, Alter Ego. Appreciate the hat mustache. Somebody's showing your boy some support. Thank you very much. In the comments, Trump is literally taking stock in private companies, says Dinkow. Yeah, I think the narrative after Trump leaves office, unless something changes significantly, he will probably be viewed, financially at least, as probably one of the most corrupt we've ever had. He should not be trading and getting involved in the stock market and running his own crypto and stuff like that. He shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be doing that. And he is. And I don't buy into this private trust type shit. That guy is involved in his finances. He is involved personally in his finances. That private trust shit is just something they're making up. Now, people believe Trump is delivering the right agenda for this country, taking us in a much better path than the liberals, so they're willing to turn a blind eye to it. But I think even MAGA knows that guy is not making all that money on the up and up. SNAP is to Subsidies Corps not paying people enough. SNAP is to Subsidies Corps. I don't quite understand that when Jay said. I don't understand where you're going with that. He says better tax dollars goes to a store than Trump's new and I agree with that. I don't like the fact, and I'll go to the box, tap the screen, get us up at the 85,000. I don't like the fact that we constantly talk about when it comes to entitlements, healthcare, EBT cards, food stamps, housing assistance, anything tuition assistance, anything governing the poor, we always, who's going to pay for it? We don't have the money. Trump has proved we have a lot of extra tax money laying around. He don't seem to have any problem finding tax money for all these unnecessary pet projects. That Qatar jet, that is a 100% unnecessary tax expenditure. That is 100% unnecessary. $400 million to refurbish that jet. That's $400 million that was spent completely unnecessary. Dyeing the reflective pool blue, about 20 million spent so far, and they still haven't gotten the job done. 100% unnecessary. They're talking about building a tribunal arch in Washington, D.C. 100% unnecessary. So was the ballroom. So the idea that we don't seem to ever have any tax money laying around when the actual needy are reaching out, it looks like it's not true. Because Trump, now he's putting his face on passports and all of that stuff costs money. The money spent putting his name on the Kennedy Memorial and then fighting in court to keep it there, all of that costs money. You think about all the people that could have been fed with that money. Because they're only giving you $200-300 or whatever the hell it is a month in EBT. It's not much. He's spending millions on these projects. I mean, he could have literally fed tens of thousands of folks for the remainder of his term off of that stuff. So yeah, I absolutely believe that the idea that we don't have tax money, Trump has proven that to be false. Billy Wapke says you're not going to the Grand Prix in DC. No, I'm not. Yeah, and that's another one. All of these big events he's having on his birthday, the military parade in DC, totally unnecessary. I don't know how much of our tax money went to this UFC fight that was on his birthday this year. He's claiming that the UFC paid for it. I don't know if I believe that, but I'm certain they didn't pay for 100% of that. All of that stuff is money that could have been going to people of lesser income. And he keeps finding money for these pet projects. Something's wrong with that. To me, something is wrong with that. Yes, but that UFC fight and the military parade was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while. How about feeding poor people? Is that not cool? How about seeing a bunch of kids have lunch in schools? Is that not cool? As opposed to a UFC fight that only lasts about 3 hours and costs millions of dollars? How about knowing that these kids are going to have free lunch for the remainder of the school year? That ain't cool? I don't know. I don't know Hands are conservative on that one. Orange Man has been a con his whole life. Yikes. And thank you, Collectibles 62 for the high five. Going back to the box. Like I said, Trump has proven that we got tax money. That's all I'm saying. It would be fine if he wasn't spending like crazy, but he's showing we got taxpayer money. Stick, Garula. Our taxes pay for his projects every time he steps on a plane and he goes golfing. We the people pay for that. Well, he do deserve some vacations, but he don't deserve his own plane. That's when it's getting to be out of hand. He don't deserve his own fucking money. He don't deserve his own memorial while he's alive. I mean, he deserves to be able to go golf. I get that, but he's way beyond that. Stick, good evening.
Hey, what's going on, Tim?
Not much at all. We're talking straightforward politics here. A host of topics have come up. Obviously, the Iran war is continuing. But I asked a poll question. We got over 300 voters on this. I want to ask it to you. 320 people so far. Question being, will the Iran war be over by the end of Trump's term? 35% say yes. 65% say no. Trump has over 2 years left in office. Do you think that war will be over with in 2 years or still going on?
Not unless he concedes to everything that they want. He concedes everything that they want, then yeah, it'll be over. But until then, it's a done. It's gonna be. It's basically right now. It's pure white man privilege. Do what I tell you type shit going on. Versus you just don't know who the fuck we are. We die about this shit. So it's two people pumping their chest. You know, two countries pumping their chest, and ain't neither one of them coming to an end. Because Trump is Trump. He a big baby. He cries like MAGA reacts, and he cries like the victim. The straight talk man, the victim.
Well,
everything hurts him. Well, it shouldn't be, and I don't understand why. Shut up.
Well, listen, I understand why some folks favor capitalism over socialism. I can totally understand that. What I don't understand is they're not making capitalism better for the folks who are starting to stray and look the other way. You know why these people are straying away from capitalism, and you're doing nothing for them. So if you want them to see the benefits of capitalism, you got to make it so that they're not so desperate. And our system is really failing a lot of people right now.
Well, it's funny to me that they used to pass out and give out, cereal and shit that just said rice, and then the package was all white and it just said oatmeal, and it said cornflakes. Like, they had all of this shit that they was giving out. Then all of a sudden, there's a lady out there that's getting thousands and thousands a month. So we got to just stop that. So now that they're stopping it, now people are saying, okay, well, we'll just do it locally. We won't have a federal system to where people can take. Since you ain't gonna provide, we're gonna provide for ourselves. And now they have a problem with that. So I mean, is it really capitalism?
I mean, what we talking about?
I call it the "don't ask me for shit" mentality. That's what I call it. I mean, we have a mindset by many in this country that if you're struggling, I figured it out, you need to figure it out. Don't ask me for shit. So the "don't ask me for shit" mentality is what's causing a lot of this.
Right. And then the whole thing of it is, even the "don't ask me shit," they sit up there talking about people crying. The trickle down. Let me tell you what trickle down is. You ready? What trickle down is?
Talk to me.
Imagine a big ass plate. Imagine a big ass table, right? And you got normal folks up under it, right? Mm-hmm. And all of the top people at the top, their shit is overflowing, right? So whatever trickles to the floor and under the table, that's what the common folks get. Ain't that like a handout?
There's a whole lot of that shit going on right now that they don't want to call it that. Yeah.
But ain't that like a handout? If I'm waiting on you, the rich, to trickle some money down to me, ain't that asking for something?
Well, they don't believe it's going. They don't believe it's going to. Yeah, they don't believe it's going to trickle down for free though, because they mean they'll create jobs, and you'll have jobs that you can work for. If you give the wealthy huge tax cuts and you look out for corporations, they believe the corporation will expand, meaning it'll create more jobs and it'll benefit you.
Yeah, that's the crooked way of saying it, right? But however, the most common layman way to say it is this: they're all at the table. They got gravy and shit oozing off the table, and there's some little fat ass rat down there just waiting for it to drop in his mouth. That's what they want us to do. That's basically what they want us to do. That's trickle down economics for your ass. It trickles right off the table, right into your mouth, just like some gravy that we don't need. We don't need it. That's why we got a lot of it. You know, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to wait for them to give it to you.
Yeah.
Trickle down.
That is kind of what they're saying. I mean, to me, I don't believe that every business or every wealthy person you give benefits to will allow it to trickle down. I don't think every business is looking to expand, or I don't think every business is going to increase wages or increase benefits if you give them some kind of tax cut. I think a lot of them will keep in pocket the money. I mean, like some of the wealthiest people, like I'll give you an example. Elon just became the world's first trillionaire. Do you hear a lot of charitable shit orbiting around Elon? I mean, I'm assuming he gives people something. You don't hear anything coming out of that guy. I mean, so he's obviously, Trump has done a lot of things that have been beneficial to Elon. I don't hear where it's really trickling down though.
Yeah, it's not trickling down. It's listen, his $1 trillion got to be $1 trillion because he ain't giving nobody shit. He's the modern day Scrooge McDuck. He got all the money that he can swim through, and guess what? He knows when some money is missing. When Trump told him, "You keep talking all that shit, I'll pull your contracts." Have we heard from Elon since that happened?
No.
And if we have heard from him, it's some good shit about Trump. It's some good shit for the 1%. You know, work with me. You see, I got this. Even my son told you he's not the president.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that. Yeah, I don't. I mean, like Elon is. Somebody mentioned SpaceX. I mean, SpaceX is not really benefiting the average American. I mean, he's charging a couple $100,000 to go to the edge of space. That don't benefit the average working American.
No, he charging $1 million a pop, bro.
Is that what it is?
Like going to see the Titanic. Yeah, it's like going to see the Titanic. That's $1 million a pop.
Wow. Yeah, that doesn't benefit the average American. So.
No, I don't, and it never will. So the whole thing again, like it's services and stuff that we're paying for, and what do you call it? The subsidies that taxpayers are paying for is going directly in Elon Musk's pocket and all the other rich folks when it comes down to certain things. And it's like this: you can either roll with it, like MAGA Reacts, like Straight Talk Commerce. Or you can be the one to say, nah, fuck all that shit. I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna try this. Since they wanted to try Trump, since they had Obama, you know, the racist ass motherfuckers, they want to try Trump just because they had Obama. That's the bullshit right there.
Well, speaking of what you just said, one of the questions I've been asking, this is something I received from a friend that is MAGA. DM me this, and I saw it on TikTok as well. But it says, "Dear Black people, no matter what you've heard from brainwashed people, MAGA doesn't hate Black people. We embrace all." Double exclamation point. Even those that hate us for no reason. Why is there this stigma that MAGA are intolerant, bigoted, or racist? I mean, to the point where I got a MAGA friend is even sending me shit like this, letting folks know you guys need to quit believing the hype. We don't hate Black people. Why do you think that this is orbiting around?
No. I hear the reverse of what Straight Talk hears. I hear a victim.
What do you mean?
I hear. Why you guys? You know what? I got a background that I put up on my. Yeah, that's what they sound like. I got a background that I put up, and it asks, why are most white teen folks more offended by being called racist than actual racism?
That's a good point. That is true, by the way. That is a good point. I don't know.
Right. You instead of people who actually are being affected, you're worried about your stigma, or just like Trump said, he was worried about the white stigma in this country. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to. He wants to bring that the Captain Saberhole is back.
In the comments,
even Mike Johnson said he want to save all the people in the room because if they win the primaries and it's mostly Democrats, we all going to jail. I'm here to save you.
In the comments, I got somebody asking a question. Pro 1015 says, "Is MAGA a white organization?" Huh? Have you ever heard something? No, they're not all white. Not all of them. So no, the answer to your question is not. No, they're not all white.
Yeah, they got blaggers. They got splaggers.
Yeah, he did better. Trump did better with Black males than Bush, Reagan, Romney, McCain. He did better. He improved support from Black males.
Yeah and no. And the reason why I say yeah and no is because those same Black males are hurt Black males.
What do you mean?
Those Black males are the Black males that either are under the thumb of a Black woman, or that they've never been with a Black woman, and they just feel like they
what does that got? What it mean? Black men can't vote on their own without a Black woman? What are you saying?
No, I'm saying that they the low hanging fruit. They the ones that can get bullied and pushed around and now that they got somebody to speak on, now that they got somebody to speak on their behalf, you know what I'm saying? Especially some of them being with white teen women, they felt emboldened with Trump. So, and then Trump is always messing with women and talking about what he gonna do, and he whether they like it or not and all that shit. They own that. So yeah, they're having their fun. Trying to down.
But you don't believe. But what about the post? You don't believe. You agree with the post that MAGA doesn't hate Black people, right? You do agree with that, right?
I mean, if they don't hate Black people, I would ask, why does it look like just like a salt mine? Like, why does it look like? Why does it look like oatmeal, no butter, no sugar, or nothing? No brown sugar at that.
Well,
why look like grits? Like, I don't get it.
Well,
if
there are more white. But that's it. Wait, hold on. That's the Republican. Wait, Stig. That's the Republican Party in general. The Republican Party in general has been white all of our life, mostly white. That's just kind of what it is.
And why does all of them? Okay, so why does all of them have, like, some of them, not all of them? Why did they have a fashion of people that like to walk around with Confederate flags, that like to say, walk around with tiki torches and Boy Scout outfits? Like, I don't understand.
Well, they're waving a flag. They're waving the Confederate. They're waving a Confederate flag to honor their pride and heritage.
Yeah, I mean, they have, and that's their heritage, and we're telling you, you're racist as fuck. Now, if you want that to be your heritage, if you want the racist General E. Lee and all these other motherfuckers, even shit. I can't even think right now, but all of the forts that are in basically the South, Benning, Fort Hood, Bragg. You want all of that shit? Cool beans. You got it, right? But when a motherfucker tell you we understand and know who these people are, don't get motherfucking mad. Just say I understand and try to understand. Don't just say it, but try to understand where a motherfucker coming from. Because if you're talking to a person of Jewish descent, right, and you start praising the mustache man, motherfucker gonna look at you like you crazy. What the fuck you got going on?
That's a good point.
If they can feel that way, we got the right to feel the way we feel, being that our ancestors went through what they went through.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, I'll agree that you do have to listen to the people. And thank you for that. Somebody sent me a TikTok cap. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. You do have to listen to the people. If like when Biden was president, he was saying the economy was doing well. Just look at the stock market. If the people are saying when I go to the grocery store, I can't afford shit, you can't just keep telling them, despite what they're seeing at the grocery store, the economy is doing good. For them, that perception is reality. And for MAGA, if the African American community is saying the stuff you guys are doing is racist, you can't just keep telling them we love black people. You need to address what they're talking about. And that is what, just like with the Confederate flag, that has been the response is, you guys just don't know what you're talking about. Same thing with Charlie Kirk. I mean, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You're just taking them out of context. I mean, like, you're not going to convince the folks to ignore their perception. Their perception is, you don't like us. And trying to convince them that you do without making any changes would be like trying to convince folks that Biden knew, his cognitive abilities were normal or the economy was good under him. No, people can see. They can see what's going on with MAGA as well. So I don't know how that changes, but history is not going to be kind in that case. Go ahead.
No, I would just say, for the blaggers to see, what he's doing with certain, African American history and plaques and things of such like, the Tuskegee Airmen and just anything African American is wild to me. How they can just sit back and still be like, give me some more. Man, fuck all y'all. Like, if you blagger, if you splagger, fuck all y'all. Like, I hope you stub your toe at the edge of your bed.
Fair enough. Sounds like the end of it. Sounds like the end of an NWA record. Fuck all y'all. Switch. Stick. Appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and you too, Sherbert.
All right, appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. I see in the comments, Collectible says, dude is reaching like Michael Jordan in Space Jam. I love to know what you elaborate on that, so I know what you mean. Come to Florida, all kinds of people fly those flags. And okay, there are African Americans that fly the Confederate flag. I'll just say this. This is the way I look at it. I don't believe that 100% of the people flying Confederate flags or defending Confederate statues and monuments, I don't think 100% of them are racist. But I will say this. If you are around a bunch of people flying that flag and celebrating those statues, you greatly increase the statistical probability that you are near racist people. So I'm not saying 100% of them are, but if this is the crowd of people you are around, you are increasing the chances that those folks are racist. I mean, it's just the way I look at it. So, yeah, because he's right. There are African Americans that fly the flag. And I think in some cases, lack of education too. I mean, you had African Americans fighting on behalf of the Confederate South in the Civil War. Like, what do you think's going to happen when the war is over with? They're fighting to keep you in bondage. Once they win, you don't get any victory out of this. Your life is going to be the same it was the day before the war began. You're fighting for nothing, essentially. So some of it is lack of education as well. So I'll say it like that. Black people flying Confederate flag, is that their heritage? No, not really. No. I don't believe the Confederate flag is the heritage of African Americans at all, because that's what they had in store for you was more bondage and slavery. No, I don't think you're not. Look, it's like a person that served in the U.S. military that has now been deported, and we have done that to several folks. You've been deported back to Mexico, and you're down in Guadalajara somewhere, or Mexico City somewhere, flying the American flag. It ain't your heritage anymore. Those people don't want you. Yeah, you fought on behalf of them. You risked your life for that country. They kicked you out. They don't want nothing to do with you no more. So to me, if you're down there flying the American flag, you look nothing short of an idiot. You put your life on the line for a country that kicked you out. Don't even want you here. So no, I don't think African Americans flying the Confederate flag are representing their heritage. There's a lot of things you could represent. By the way, keep in mind, the Civil War only represents a short period of history in the South. I mean, we've been a country since 1776. 250 years we've been a country. How long was the Confederate battle flag actually active? Handful of years? Out of all of the shit that represents the South, why pick the most tumultuous time, the most turbulent time when Americans were being slaughtered and killed on both sides of the Mason-Dixon? There's a ton of other things you could pick to represent the South as your heritage. You live in Georgia, fly a fucking flag with a peach on it. I mean, there are rivers, there's Appalachian Mountains to celebrate. There's all sorts of awesome things to celebrate down in the South that don't involve the period of time when we were literally fighting to keep people in bondage, fighting our fellow Americans and slaughtering each other. Why pick the worst period of time in history to celebrate? That right there just does not make any sense to me at all. Not to mention, it's the time your country, your side of the aisle, or your side of history rather, that's the time in history your side fought for the wrong thing, ended up on the wrong side of history. Why pick that moment of your pride or your heritage? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Unless you believe the South will rise again and you want that era to come back. You want to be back in that era when you were dominating and allowed to own people. That's the only reason why I can see. That's the only benefit to it from the South. You don't want to go back to the part where they were slaughtering you. You were getting slaughtered by the Yankees, do you? I don't think the only benefit to, well, we used to be able to own people and make a ton of money. Other than that, there was nothing good at that period of time. The U.S. just placed their map on top of Turtle Island and ruined this land. Yikes. General Sherman didn't go far enough to punish the Southerners. No, and they obviously rewrote history and was allowed to celebrate some of that stuff. Nazis did lose. Did Germany allow them to? No, and that's what America should have done. Is that they didn't let the losers control the narrative. In America, we let the losers control the narrative, and that's why a lot of the ills of our history, a lot of the dark stuff, never was taught. Because they don't want to tell you about all the atrocities and stuff they committed. We let them control history, and they weren't honest about it. So there you go. Going back to the box, we'll go to Gangsta Grandma. I'll find it here in a second. I've got the link posted in the server. Posted. Good evening.
Hey, hubby, how you doing with your fine, sexy ass? You know what
Are you drinking?
No, I'm just high. Yeah. I'm just fucking with you, dog.
Yeah. And in the comment, hold on. And in the comments, Collectible says, here's some history. First legal slave owner here was named Anthony Johnson, wasn't a European. Then why don't he have a statue? Why wasn't he celebrated in history? If he was the first African-American business owner that was making a killing, why didn't you remove him from history too? It just makes you look racist by that. Now you want to bring him up now in 2026. What brings you on, Gangsta Grandma?
So tell me why today I got asked when me and you gonna get married.
I don't know.
I would go to jail.
I don't know.
I would go to jail.
Because you think I'm a white guy. You see me as a white man.
Yeah, you are a spoiled buttermilk biscuit.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you do me that way?
Well, why?
Yeah.
Because you be fluffing too much, and you be kissing that, you know, the white man's, you know what? You be all up in they shit. And you're just like, well, let me push back. And you know damn fucking well what the fuck is the truth or not, dog. So, I call you a boy. So I cannot really marry somebody like your ass, even if I wanted to, because you will put me in jail because I'll be like throwing a fire pan or something at you because I can't be doing that. I just can't.
Kurt Russell, Stedman Graham, you don't have to be marriage, baby.
I know. You're so stupid. You're so fucking stupid.
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, Stedman Graham and Oprah, you don't have to be married.
Yeah.
In the comments, somebody asked me then, why did George Floyd get a statue? Well, first of all, George Floyd and his slave owner guy are a couple hundred years apart, so they're in a different.
Do you see this shit though? Do you see it? Do you see it? The racism, dog. Do you see the shit? And you know that the little peckerwood that was up here earlier, he couldn't even answer why they just taking shit out. Because he knows that what they're doing is fucked up, and he's a racist. He came out and said he was a racist. That's why I had no respect for
that. He did not say that.
He did tell you he was a racist before, Jim. The one that I finally talked to, yeah, he did say that. Remember?
I never heard him say that.
Did. Yeah, Tim, seriously.
I don't.
Tim, you forget you really do forget, don't you? Don't you, Tim? Don't you? You forget when the racist says something, but you won't forget when my black ass says something.
Well, I do have you on more. I do have you on more often, Gangsta Grandma. You are more memorable.
Yeah. I can't stand you, dog. But he did. He honestly, he said that though. He did. Because I wouldn't say that about anybody. If I know that you're a racist and you said something, I'll call your ass out. And he did. He said it. And you even said he was. You said him, and then you finally realized that Jeremy was one, and then MAGA Reacts is one. He's kind of special ed dropout type of shit. But you know what I mean. So what the hell?
Well,
all your little friends are the ones. All your little friends are the Triple K. I don't even know how the fuck you can talk to somebody that's in the Triple K that hates you.
The Triple K, the Triple K is really not even operating anymore.
Tim, they have the mindset of the Triple K. They will fruit you from a tree, Tim. That's what I'm saying. I know that you know what was it July 4th? Well, did they not march on the thing though?
What are you talking about?
Did they not?
What are you talking about?
Well, with the racist people, they was marching. They had the shit all covered and shit. Yes, they did.
I don't know. Here's where I lose a lot of folks like yourself and a lot of African Americans. I actually believe that my life is at greater risk hanging around another black man than I think white supremacists.
You know what my life is good? You know what my life is when I go back to the hood? You know what they judge people for being from the hood. I'm from the hood, okay? Because, yes, I'm from the hood. I'm from 9th Ward.
The point I'm making is
to go back home. I'm proud to go back home because I don't forget where the fuck I came from. Yep. See, I'm up in I'm the upper middle class now, and I have a fucking pretty home. I wish they had her upper class black homes. I really do, because I would be up in that neighborhood. Look at your wife. See, she wants to pound your head in too, don't she?
The point I'm you gotta hold down the power button. The point I'm making is that there's not a lot of folks of color losing their lives to white supremacists. That's just not happening.
Hold the fuck on. We just had a 13-year-old boy getting unalived by 2 white T kids in foster care. We had a young man, I'm not calling a boy being, but a black boy, a young black man, unalived in the ocean. What the fuck you talking about? And then a young black kid just got unalived by the police.
What I'm saying is if you look at how many African Americans or people of color lose their lives, I mean the amount of them that are losing their lives to what you're talking about has got to be less than 0.00001%.
One life is too many. With your ratty raccoon looking ass. See, that's why I couldn't marry you. Because I would be going to jail for real. And I would be going underneath the jail. Because I couldn't gonna fuck with a Negro like you, a cave sucking to Uncle Tom looking shit. Say, you know what?
This ain't got nothing to do with being Uncle Tom. You're trying to
with our own people.
You're trying to make something. You're trying to blow up something that's not happening. I mean, when you talk about people,
Look.
Even if I look, what are you telling me? Last month, 100 African Americans lost their lives white supremacy.
Tim, I shit you know. And his probably wife probably knows I'm fucking with him. So get the shit out. I would never touch Tim like that with a 10-foot pole, my dog's dick. So don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Tim's just a homie. Homies. Nothing more. Get it out your damn thing.
I'm going to stand by my statement is that is something that is not affecting the overwhelming majority of African Americans.
The Popos don't like us. See, you are a true fucking ass white tea man.
Oh
You're not like the Whoopi Goldberg type of shit. You are like, I got a skin cover of a black man, but inside I'm a white boy to the max. I bet your D-ling is fucking white too, because you don't even have the fucking balls, dog. Like, come on.
What am I saying?
It's not that fucking bad.
What am I?
It's not that bad.
No,
Get the fuck out of here, dog.
I'm simply.
What the hell's wrong with your? What is wrong with your Bambi looking ass?
Bambi? I'm simply.
Yeah, you're a cupcake for real. A white tea cupcake.
Okay.
You don't have no balls. I have to be nice to your ugly ass.
You want me to pretend like white supremacy is off with a bunch of black people?
Tim, we're being offed. 2 kids just got unalived by white tea people. What are you talking about? A guy just got unalived by the police. That is for us, Tim. What? What is too many, Tim? Now you sound like MAGA with all that one is too many bullshit. You know what, Tim? I'm coming up there and I'm gonna get your ugly ass. I'm gonna ask your wife to beat the living fuck out your ass. God. You know what I mean? I said, you know what, sister? Let me whoop his ass for you one good damn time. Because you know what? He's not black no more.
Handsome conservative, thank you very much. No, what do you mean I'm not black? What the hell are you talking about? You're just making up shit.
Black.
That's bullshit.
You are a wigger.
What the fuck? What in the actual fuck? What the? I don't even want to ask what that is. I don't even want to go down that road. I don't want to think about it.
Oh, yeah, I bet you don't want to know. But you is one, though. You is one cupcake and fluffy ass motherfucker, you.
And in the comments,
always gotta do it for the white man. We're not being hurt by the Triple K. We're not. What the fuck?
In the comments, Aaron M says a typical Democrat voter. See there? You got people noticing you. Typical Democrat voter.
You know what, typical, I sure am, though. You know what I do when I go vote? I don't vote for my damn self. If I voted for my damn self, I'll be a fucking Republican. Because you know what? I love to make money. But see, I don't vote for me. I vote for other people. I vote for the people that can't make it out here, that needs help out here. That's who I vote for. I vote for the elderly. I vote for our veterans. I vote for everybody that needs a hand up and a hand out some damn times. I vote for the homeless. You know, I don't vote for the billionaires that don't give 2 F's about your sorry ass that voted for them. I don't go vote for that. So sure am. I'm proud, though. I'm proud to be blue all damn day. Unlike this one I'm talking to.
Wait, I don't see anything wrong with being blue. I just don't want you making up tall tales about.
I'm not making shit, Tim. One black man or one black kid is more than who should ever be. You feel what I'm saying? Your wife's getting on to you. I like
what I'm saying is, I'm okay with you being blue. I don't want you making up tall tales about fake cases of white supremacy deaths.
The boys unalived a black kid in foster care, stabbed him over 20 damn times. 2 black 17-year-olds did it to a 13-year-old black kid. You don't think that wasn't racist, Tim?
I mean, it's possible, But it ain't.
Oh,
You make it sound like
talk out your mouth. Get the white talk out your mouth.
you make it sound like.
Then the black kid that is so-called drowned, aka in the ocean, has no lungs, has no stomach, and has no throat. Go figure, right?
That's called an autopsy. That ain't got shit to do with race. That's called an autopsy.
To what I said.
What?
Listen, no throat. It was gone. No lungs. It was gone. When they do an autopsy, Pookie and Ray Rays, they put your shit in a bag and they put it in your abdomen. Okay? That's where they put your shit. Have you ever seen an autopsy?
Yeah.
Oh, I have. And I've been in the same room and they made me sick to my stomach. Yeah, they put him in the bag and they put him in your
So where's his organs at?
So, you asked me though, fool. Yeah, where's it at though, fool?
I didn't hear that.
But that wasn't white. That wasn't for the white people to do that, right? Right?
I didn't
Oh
hear
yeah, okay. But that's not that's not
So
that's
all
not,
in Nolan. Wait. I didn't hear this. So all in Nolan's organs are missing.
his stomach is half gone. His throat was gone. His lungs were gone. And they said they couldn't even tell how he got unalived because shit was missing. And they wanted to know where his shit was.
That is bad.
So don't tell me about white tea conspiracy. And I hope your woman, your wife, will whoop your ass after this. Yeah.
Why I gotta get my ass whipped by wives and women and shit?
And tell your wife I am not really trying to fuck on you.
What are you talking about?
I would be a straight fucking lesbian if he was the only one. I can't deal with white tea people. Well, and especially white tea men that look like a black man, but you have to be a fucking Cape of Saber hoe.
Okay, all right.
So tell me again, Tim. Tell me again, Tim. That wasn't white tea conspiracy. That wasn't white racism right there, Tim. It's been more coming up in the past few months.
I see in the comments, Aaron says the first autopsy took the organs, but they should be an account for where they are though. Once they're done with them or whatever, they shouldn't just be flat out missing. I get that for the second autopsy. I mean, isn't it normal that they do take that stuff out and
they take them out, Tim. They take out your brain. They take out your liver. They take out everything, your heart, everything, and they put them in a bag after they dissect you and I mean they butcher you and it's disgusting. I don't ever want to be in a room like that again. It made me sick to my stomach. I threw up everything. But yeah, they put them all in a bag. And they put them in a bag, and they put them in your like in your like around your stomach and stuff. And they put them in there, and they not zip you up. That's fucking.
they give you the why.
The why, and they close you up.
Yeah, for them to give this body to the family's independent autopsy person with no organs in it. I mean, that is bad. That is bad because you know they can't do an autopsy with no organs in there.
I know you like your white tea maggots. I know you like the pink ding-a-ling and stuff. But unfortunately, Tim, yeah, you do, Tim, because you be caping like a biggest fluffer ever.
Oh,
I know you like your mom stuff, Tim. I know you like the raisins and potato salad and shit, and you want to be white so bad, but you need to come back to the black side and say that they don't like your ugly ass on God. Because you know why they made that little statement about, oh, we love our black people, and oh my God, quit listening to them, quit listening to the people. You know why they want that? You know why they're doing that? Because November's coming, Pookie. Okay, they need some black votes. You feel me? And they know a lot of black folks don't like him. They know a lot of Hispanics don't like him. So they really trying to cape and Skype and save a hoe and trying to get some people over there. Yeah.
I don't think that's. I think it's too. I think for the Trump administration, any of the perceived damage they've done with people of color, it's too late to undo that. I mean,
I know that, Tim.
Yeah.
And all the 20%ers that sold us out, the ratty raccoonies and the Mexicans and the Hispanics, especially the Cubans and the Venezuelans. Yeah, I hope you motherfuckers eat your shit because you put us all in this situation and your own damn country is getting hit hard.
Well, they didn't, but they didn't know Gangsta Grandma. Like I told you, Kamala Harris was not a good candidate, so they didn't know.
Yo, Pookie, little Pookie. Let me tell you something with your little fat ass, okay? They knew. Because they had to listen. All they got to read is Project 2025. It was all up in there. But you know what they didn't want to listen to? Black women shooting from the rooftop saying, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Did TikTok live saying, this is what's going to happen. Reading Project 2025. This is.
They took Gangsta Grandma off the program. That happens occasionally. Okay, we'll move on. In the comments, somebody said the problem is Black America has no culture. End of I guess end of discussion. Why don't Black America have any culture? I mean, if our ancestry is in Ghana or Nigeria or whatever, you think it may have had anything to do with the fact that when African Americans came here, all their culture was taken from them? I mean, let's just be honest about what happened. You know, it ain't like they could come here and practice their own culture from their own locations. So some of that had to do with how they were brought here. They lost their culture, their God, their names, all of that shit. I believe this situation is an attempt to protect those teens from jail time. This could be racially motivated. I'm not 100% certain it's racially motivated. Talking about Nolan, whatever his last name is, but it definitely sounds like it is. It is corrupt or whatever, you know, it sounds suspicious. It sounds like it could, listen, Nolan Wells, thank you, B3. It could be a case of they were all friends and they didn't have anything to dislike about his race, but maybe one of them got into a fight or maybe one of them did something wrong and took his life and they don't want to be held accountable for it. I mean, it sounds more like a cover-up. That's the word I'm looking for. I can agree that it may be a cover-up. I don't know. It could be a cover-up without it being racism. They could actually be okay with him being African American and just have done something else. Let's say, for instance, young men do crazy shit with testosterone. You get to an end of a cliff and you're thinking about jumping and somebody come behind you and shove and push you over. That actually happened in real life, by the way. There was a woman that was thinking about bungee jumping or diving off of a bridge or something like that. And white girl. And one of her friends came behind and just shoved her and pushed her off the cliff and really, really did some serious damage to that girl. I mean, so sometimes being young can cause you to do testosterone shit. And, you know, shoving somebody like that is a crime. And that girl, in the case I'm using, the white girl that shoved the other, she ended up going to prison for that. That is a crime. So it absolutely could be a case of a cover-up where we had no issue with him being Black, but we got in the we were in the water and we were roughhousing or something, and I held him under too long and he drowned or something like that, and started freaking out. I don't want to go to prison, man. Something like that. It ain't got to be racism, but it does sound like it's a cover-up. I absolutely do believe the cover-up part. Now the parents getting involved in cover up or the justice system, racism could come into play. Who knows? But I do believe it sounds like a cover up. You trying hard to explain the racism, huh? It don't matter if it's a cover up of racism, but I mean, it's still going to be prison time attached to it. I don't know what you mean by that. Black people were already here on Turtle Island thousands of years before anybody else. You guys are talking to each other. In the comments, the tribe is what works for Black man. White man's system does not work for Black men. That's bullshit. There are plenty of very civilized African countries in Africa. Mozambique. We can talk about Nigeria is fairly civilized. I mean, the problem is the white colonizers have went around making it hard for a lot of Black-oriented countries to prosper. Most Black and brown-oriented countries, if you trace their history back, particularly the ones that are impoverished, there's a whole lot of white influence in it. And it was not done to the betterment of those people. I mean, like, Venezuela is considered a brown country right now. They got all kinds of American influence in that country. That's not to the betterment of the people of Venezuela. We're taking oil from them right now. That's money that could help their country out. Same thing with Cuba Haiti, and that's just in our current region. So it ain't that, whites are just more smart, they're more civilized, and the Africans are just, tribal, and they're walking around with bones in their noses and they can't. No, it's you've been involved in how they're doing things, and have greatly, I want to say, greatly hindered their progress. Think about how much progress the Native Americans could have made in this country if the colonists didn't come here, give them smallpox, and kill them off by the millions. Who knows where the country would have been? And they certainly would treat the environment better than the colonizers that came here. I actually read a good article, or actually saw a really good video on this, of why the colonizers did so well, and people of color all around the world were so easily dominated. And the way the author made it sound is that they were just lucky. They were blessed. Talking about the Europeans, they were blessed where they were born at. They were born in an area where there were a lot of agriculture. They were born in an area where they didn't have to chase animals to find food. So they could actually have towns and cities where a lot of the African and Native Americans and things like that. And I'm just kind of give you what I remember. They had to keep chasing and moving, just like in tribal America here. The Native Americans had to keep, chasing buffalo or whatever they were eating off of. They had to move with them. So they weren't able to stay in one area and just develop a big city and stuff like that. Whereas in Europe, they had goats and sheep and cows and stuff that don't move. So you can sit there, and when you're not constantly having to run and hunt for food all the damn time, and you're able to sit there and have a society, and you start creating specialists. People start getting really good at stuff. Whereas the other civilization, that all they can do is really farm and fight for food. They're not actually developing like that. So then when the colonizers started traveling, they were hundreds of years more developed than the civilizations they encountered. They had better weapons, better technology, and it was easier for them to wipe people out. And that's what they ended up doing, going places where they literally had armies that were more advanced and more civilized. They coming over here and we're dealing with, natives are dealing with wood arrows and shit. And they got steel, swords and stuff like that. They just got better stuff because they got blacksmith and they got folks that have been, specializing in this stuff. So they came here better equipped and it was easy to take over. And that's kind of what it's been wherever they went. They've went places and they just kept, they didn't go places for the good of the people. They conquered, colonized, and dominated. Looking in the comments though, it's not because Europe was better for agriculture or anything like that. It's because Europe was ahead in technology. That's why they got ahead in technology is what I'm saying. When your whole family is focused on chasing food around, that being animals and nature, you don't have time to sit around and specialize in metals and blacksmiths and just, you don't have time to become a specialist. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, they're better at technology because they weren't on the move all the time trying to feed themselves and shit. Just take it as you may. When your culture is all about killing and dominance, you develop things like that. They were not ahead in technology. Okay. All right. Look, I just tell you what I saw. You guys can disagree with it. People robbed the riches of Africa. True. More Europeans were sold in slavery during the Ottoman Empire than Africans were sold during the Atlantic trade. I don't care what happened overseas during the Ottoman Empire. I mean, when we talk about American history, it's American history. We don't talk about what happened in the Ottoman Empire. If you want to talk about the global slave trade, that's one thing. If you want to talk about the American slave trade, it stays with America. I don't know why all of a sudden this other foreign shit comes up. You want to talk about terrorism in Egypt on September 11th when you're honoring the victims of the World Trade Center. You want to bring up what happened in Egypt? We don't normally do that, do we? There has been inventions from African Americans that helped American society. True. That is 100% true. I asked a poll earlier, do you believe Mamdani style politics are bad for America? I got almost 100 respondents. It's close. It's close. 47% of my respondents said yes, Mamdani style politics are bad for America. 53% said no. So it's close, about half and half. It's close. I'll say this in regards to Mamdani. The shit that the right is saying he's going to do, the destruction to New York that's going to happen, if New York is doing fine a couple years from now, that number is going to grow in favor of Mamdani. Stuff better start falling apart fast because that's what they said Obama was going to do. Under Obama, the country is going to fall apart and become socialist Greece. Obviously, we came nowhere near that, and Obama's gone down in history as a rather successful president. So I'd say you got about a year or two on Mamdani. If that stuff does not happen, it's just going to promote a lot more Mamdanis to get elected because it's going to basically remove all credibility from the right that people have to worry about this shit. So the stuff you guys are predicting on the right, it better start happening pretty quick. Otherwise, people are going to start questioning your credibility. I see the tapping in the hats and mustache, all this shit. I'll go ahead and wrap it up. I appreciate the 96,000 on the likes. Thank you folks for tuning in as always. You guys know we'll be here tomorrow. And as always, you guys have a wonderful Sunday. It depends on what, and I'll read a couple comments. It depends on what Mamdani does. I hope he does good. Well, if he does good, though, MAGA reacts. If Mamdani does well, proving that all of the fear-mongering that the right said was going to happen, then that's going to hurt their credibility for other future candidates talking socialism. You guys have stated that if this guy got elected, New York is going to fall apart, trying to prevent him from getting elected. He got elected. New York better fall apart. Otherwise, Philadelphia or some other city could start having Mamdanis as well, and your advice won't work because people will have seen you fail in what you said about Mamdani. It's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I gotta go.